All right. All right, everybody. Guess what? It's Friday and it's time for All Politics Are Local. I am Zaid Muhammad, and I'm going to try and steward you through a long night, a heavy night. The great Asia Norton has joined us, and she is a pleasant surprise. Welcome, daughter. Good to see you.
Hey,
How are you feeling?
I'm well. How are you?
Let me begin with an apology. We had a tech glitch that put us about 10, 12 minutes behind. We apologize, but we are going to try and get in everything that we intended for this very full Friday evening, as we always do. Very quickly, a run of the show. We're going to begin with a conversation about a crazy situation in New York City, literally called deed theft, where there is an effort to literally steal Black people's homes through forging signatures on their deeds and taking their homes right out from under their legal legs. And it's an ugly, long-standing scheme that is just beginning to muster up some real resistance. My good friend and comrade, Queen Mother Betty Davis, is going to join us in a minute, the Black is Back Coalition, and talk about that. She will be joined by Lisa Davis, who has been here before, of course, also with the Black is Back Coalition. And Lisa is in a legal battle, as you know, with a police encounter that she had in South Orange. And she's going to tell us about the beginning of her appeal in that case. Um, and who do we have after that? After that, we have the manager of the Newark Civilian Complaint Review Board, Mr. Rick Robinson. And he is going to tell us about the Clergy Tour that is getting ready to happen for Newark's CCRB that will begin tomorrow morning, the details of which he will fill us all in. Uh, from the Irvington City Council, Dr. Charnette Frederic will join us to talk about a new book that she has out, her own narrative from Haiti to America. And after that, we have some young folks that I'm very proud of who are hosting a tribute to Assata tomorrow in Newark at Express Newark. Community movement builders in the new Newark chapter will join us at 7:30. And we have an emerging superstar from the Newark Pop Warner League, 12-year-old Milan Williams, a superstar in flag football, right? Who's going to be the guest of us and Mr. Marquise Lewis. We're looking forward to that conversation. Marquise always brings us some fascinating, folks on the recreational and sports side. And of course, we'll wrap up in the end of the evening with our own DJ Rhino. What's the latest in the land of hip hop? So y'all ready to ride? Let's go to work. Right, Asia? Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back. It definitely has been a busy time. Hey,
Oh,
Donna.
Madam Councilwoman is already here. All right. I was for you till a little bit later. All right. Okay.
Hey, Miss Asia, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. How are you?
No complaints.
God is good. Amen. I love that. It has certainly been a busy time of year, and the weather. Woo, child. I hope everyone have their heat on. They have their blankets. They got their long
You
johns
like, you like the
Ah,
summer like I do. All right.
our first
You got
guest is
Betty Davis eyes. You got Betty Davis eyes, Betty.
this Betty Davis got some different eyes than that one. Queen Mother Betty Davis.
Good evening. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am. Uhuru. How are you, dear black woman? What's going
Yuhuru. Thank you for welcoming me into your family, your
on?
listening family.
And this is your first time with us?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, it ain't gonna be the last if I got something to say about that for sure. Betty,
Yes, dear.
people don't believe me when I tell them that we got some deed theft, racist, settler, ethnic cleansing con artists in New York City that are going buck wild with our people trying to get them out of Brooklyn.
Well, I'd like to give you a background information on
Break,
one of the
please.
elders in our community. Her name is Vira Lynn Jones, and she was inspired to create an African American cultural museum in 2002 when she began to think about the future of the 300 African artifacts that she has in various storage facilities. She decided to rename the cultural institution the Bedford-Stuyvesant Museum of Art. I'm telling you this as a part of the intro for her because she was raised in Charleston, West Virginia, and graduated in journalism from Ohio University. She has traveled extensively in Cuba, Germany, France, Cameroon, South Africa, and Nigeria. And she's kind of typical of many of our people who have been the subject of this racketeering. She says she bought her brownstone in Clinton Hill in 1966 for less than $180,000, and she was wrongfully evicted in May of 2025. It was an illegal eviction, and the marshal was fake.
Wow.
An investor just showed up on her stoop in November 2022 and said, "I own your house now." She has fought them since 2022 until the day she was illegally evicted. Now, one of the things we did, she's one of the seniors that the Coalition Against Deed Theft, and I recommend no matter where you are in this country, if you are a victim of deed theft, Google them because they can help you. They can give you information. The reality of what we are talking about comes home when I tell you it could not be done. As you say, Ralph used to say about slavery. I mean, Ralph Pointer, the warrior who recently transitioned, who was an advocate for community control of public education and an advocate for the freedom of many of our political prisoners, including his second wife, Lynn Stewart.
That's
He
right.
used to say, no people can be enslaved without the connivance of their own. And in New York City, that is definitely the case. This city of yes is just a continuation of a process that began the minute we stepped out of chattel slavery by our own hands. Because if it had not been for the African soldiers in the Union, this would still be two different countries.
That's right.
They made the difference. And part of their reward was to get their 40 acres and a mule. However, Black people have paid the heaviest cost from the late 19th century to today. Local tax assessors have consistently overtaxed the lands and homes that Black people own and the neighborhoods where they live. So this is the legacy that we are looking at. My assembly person is Stephanie Zinnerman. She escorted us to the 81st precinct today because one of our elders was locked out of her home illegally. We proved that this was so. We proved it to the precinct a week back. We removed the locks. We proved that the false notice on the door claiming to be from a marshal was illegal. Had a conversation with the police, but we made it clear and proved it. Today, we went back to the precinct because recently her house was broken into. They destroyed the toilets. They destroyed the wiring. They broke out the portions of the parquet floor.
Yeah, that's what you sent out today, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And when we went to the precinct, letting our assembly person speak for us, and she said, we're only here to do one thing, and that is to lodge a complaint, which is our right as citizens. The captain of that 81st precinct refused to let her lodge a complaint. I'm talking about an assembly person.
You got to go.
You understand? So this is not, people want to say, oh, you didn't pay your rent. Oh, you didn't pay for your lights. Oh, you didn't pay for your gas. But what I would like to say to the listeners is go to Bensonhurst, go to Park Slope in Brooklyn, any neighborhood where European Americans are majority, and try to do the same thing there as a corporation or a real estate company, and see what happens. Not only did the police at the precinct know that the corporation that was attempting to steal her property was illegal, they insisted on escorting them so that they would be safe when we showed up to change the locks. So what you are seeing from this is that from the late century, 19th century on, the way that Africans are treated when it comes to being able to pass on intergenerational wealth, and the way other first generation immigrants who are not of Black or brown hue are treated is different. Every time we step up and demand justice in terms of our financial independence, we are meeting the same treatment that the First Nations met
Yes.
when they met the Europeans.
Yes,
They take our property. And that's what this deed theft is about. In this country, the local tax structures have been a feeding ground for any corporations or any companies that wish to be assume a predator status on Africans in this country. African Americans have managed to accumulate nearly 16 million acres of land. 16 million acres of land. But as they did, local white tax administrators worked to make it more expensive to hold and easier to lose. Now, I am citing this from a book that recently came out with the most recent statistics, and it's called The Black Tax. It's by Professor Andrew W. Call. The last name is spelled Kahrl. He is a professor at the University of Virginia. Now, most of you have heard the term the black tax before. So this is just an update on that concept. We're not saying he invented the concept, but we are saying that he has updated the statistics that document and validate the use of that term, that it is still a valid term to use today. It's 150 years of theft, exploitation, and dispossession in America. He said, if you remember the movie The Short, which was a depiction of the subprime loan scandal in this country, those of you who have not seen that film, even though it's a fictionalized version of what happened, I strongly urge you to look at it because it pretty much follows the real script in history of that collapse of the empire. Let's call it what it was.
Yes,
It
sir.
was
So,
a
Queen Betty, let's help
collapse
us state this. Look, you loaded us with a lot. I just found out about this recently when Queen Afua put out that she was being, she was facing that challenge.
Yes. And
Explain to everybody just how this works. I mean, I've heard
well, it's
legal
one of the
forgery,
things
and
that is
then you laid out
happening.
the tax question.
One of the things that is happening, and I apologize, some of my colleagues could not get on because they are still house sitting or they're on calls advising others. The tax structures, the local tax structures, are really under the control of the local politicians. And property taxes is like the war chest for the Democratic Party. They can steal as much as they like because they control the way the tax structures are set up. And despite the fact that 16 million acres of land was accumulated over time by Africans in this country, the local tax administrators have free reign to treat Black people as subjects to exploit and punish. And the reason I started off by giving you an example of what happened to us today when we went to the precinct, that's the answer to what you are talking about.
Wow.
I know you all saw the story recently in one of the local newspapers about the African, Caribbean African in this country whose house was taken up for an alleged water bill. Now, the interesting thing is that this man's mortgage is paid. He owns his house. It was taken allegedly because he was behind in his water bill. So someone went in, paid for the water bill, and took his house. Now, his house could be, and probably is worth millions. They were able to take it for the water bill. This is your local tax administration, which is backed by a particular political party, which is backed by a political police force, which is backed by a mayor, which is backed by the corporations that run the mayor. And this is what we mean in Black is Back Coalition when we talk about.
Oh no, what happened? Betty, can you hear us? She blacked out.
Well, while we wait for her to come back, there she goes.
Rick, hold on. We're going to be in a couple minutes.
Yes.
There you go. You got cut
so
off.
she's back. Okay, she's back. Okay.
You can stay off camera because we're going to have to wind it down a little bit. Can you hear us?
I think that's Rick in the background. Can you mute Rick? Okay. Miss Betty, can you?
I'm good to go out and come back in.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. All right. So listen. So in the few minutes we have left, let me text her. Y'all keep talking for a second. Let me text her so we can wind her up, and then we'll bring Rick in.
No, I know in New Jersey, Frederica Bay, you know, this is one of the things that she's been talking about for a while in terms of predatory lending, foreclosures, you know, houses being lost. You know, people pay for their houses, and you know, Essex County is probably one of the highest places for taxes, residential taxes, and you will find that people will have their houses paid for and can't afford to pay their taxes. So now that you're a lawyer, have you had many opportunities to talk about residential taxes? Do you do closings or anything like that, Asia?
Yeah, so I am a commercial real estate attorney. I've been doing that for a little over a year now. And one of the projects that I've had the pleasure on working on is redevelopment projects. And so we haven't been doing any residential 1-family, 2-family, or 3-family projects. Taxes do come up, but in the grand scheme of commercial development versus residential, it is different. But there are times, and like one thing that she has said about like when you don't pay your water bill or even like your taxes and stuff, there's something like slipping my mind on. You can put a lien on the house,
Right.
the city or municipality, they can, and then people can come out, whoever, it doesn't matter whoever, you have the funds, you can pay those taxes, pay that water bill, pay whatever outstanding balance, and you'll get a lien on the house. Or
you become a lien holder.
Yeah, and
so,
exactly. And so and that's real. Now, in terms of when the property then, like when the municipality goes after that person, like how they settle it, I don't know the law well enough to make a statement, but I would assume that person is still entitled to the value of their home. Is not that if you have a $500,000 or $250,000 home, You don't pay your water bill. That could be $1,000, $2,000, whatever range it's in. That lien comes in, then now you don't get any portion or the proceeds of that property. That doesn't sound, because that's kind of against our U.S. Constitution.
Right. And you're right, because when we used to do lien sales, when I said as a council person, you would see people now that didn't we it's somebody just posted, Ms. Babies is coming back.
Yeah.
And
I want to address what you said.
Okay.
They have been able to put people back in their homes when they were illegal. But as I'm saying to you recently, day before yesterday, one of these corporate marauders was convicted. He was only convicted for 12 deed thefts. He stole over 200. And the return of the property that he stole has still not been returned. They focus, as in the case of the slave theater, on elders. The elder involved in the case for the slave theater was, shall we say, kidnapped by the corporation that was going to steal the property, placed in a nursing home, declared incompetent, and his property was taken over by that agency. They flipped that property for something like $18,000 or $18 million. I'm terrible with these numbers. It must have been $18 million. My point is, the property had already been paid for by this elder. The gentleman involved is well known to the Black community. He definitely owned that property. They then changed the exact address of their property. It's on Fulton Street. They put it on the side street. They re-registered it on one of the side streets that Fulton Street intersects in that building, with that building. And they are in the process of selling it, and people are in there doing reconstruction. And we were there picketing that property also. His son is going to court. It was just postponed to January 6th to demand some kind of retribution. What people don't understand and what they refuse to believe is what Lynn Stewart said. The law is whatever they say it is. Now, in some cases, the seniors were, they just went into the system, ACRIS, and changed the name. Once they did that, they then went to the property and put the elder in the street. All right. And when they did that, that's when people woke up to just what was happening. The difference between New York City and Mississippi, where this has been the way things were, especially if you were a prosperous farmer and Black, they would come and tell you to leave. If you didn't leave, they would come and beat you up. If you did not leave, then they would lynch you and take your property. In New York, they don't beat you up and they don't take your property by lynching you. They legally lynch you. They change the name on the deed. It is illegal. It is racketeering. But how in the world did this one
She froze up. Oh, she was on a roll again and she froze up. Oh.
For 12.
There you go.
I know it sounds outrageous, but
it is
part
outrageous.
of the problem.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Part of the problem is that local laws are under the control of the local politicians. And above that is the whole issue of states' rights. So you know how states' rights apply to people of color in this country. States' rights have always reduced us to the role of colonial subjects. So what I am saying is, look at the subprime loan movie. It's called The Short. Remember how they concluded that film? They said, yes, we've stolen all this money. We created the system and we've stolen that money. But we won't worry. Congress is going to bail us out.
And all we'll do is blame it on the black and brown people. And that is exactly what happened. It was the largest transference of wealth of one group to another in the history of this country. Wow. So while I know what Sister Norton is saying, it's not supposed to be that way, but it is that way. And that's why I'm on this program. We want people to wake up, to pass really obvious laws to stop the deed theft where it spreads, where it starts. The origin is in the nature of how people can go in and change the deeds. And you must know that the majority of the victims are mostly elders whose property has been paid off.
Black elders.
And what I was going to say, Mother, it's interesting because we have a local. I'm in Orange, New Jersey, and one of the residents posted this week. I'm reading it, and I just sent it out to the group. It says, "Orange homeowners, remember to pay your water/sewer bills by November 11th to avoid being added to the tax sale list." So, what's interesting, I can remember when I was serving that people that we would get a tax sale list that would go up for the foreclosure sale. And you would see people on that list who missed one payment and people who missed 20 payments. And it was, and all in the timing. So local law. And then what happens is, like you said, you will find that oftentimes, with us not being as community oriented as we have been normally in the past, you'll find that the elders that live on that street who don't have generations by them anymore, they may fall behind in their bills just because they simply forgot to pay them. And not so much, houses paid off. And I'll even go a next step. I don't know in New York, but in New Jersey, we have something called a senior freeze, tax freeze. So seniors can freeze their taxes once they turn 62, 65 years old, and their taxes will freeze. So if they were paying $5,000 at that point, they will only have to pay $5,000 as long as they meet the income requirements. A lot of people don't know, but local law, and it's, go ahead. I'm sorry, but local law, like you said,
in New York City, let's assume that they got the water bill and knew they had to pay it. I've experienced not receiving my water bill, and I had to then contact the agency and say, "Where's my water bill?" This is not, you need to be aware. You got to be as wise as a serpent in this capitalist colonial situation.
You're teaching us something here, Betty.
Yeah,
and one of the things the brother in Flatbush said, whose house they tried to take, I paid my water bill. I didn't know I had missed some. All right, so the person can go in and got his house for the price of a water bill. But where you have the intention that people can keep their property, they keep their property. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a mini Tulsa. Okay, they haven't set the national guard.
Miss Davis, one second. I just wanted to hear what attorney. Oklahoma. Okay, what were you going to say, Attorney Norton? You going to say?
I'm sorry. You're so funny with that. But no, I appreciate this conversation, and it is trying to. I appreciate the approach of changing laws. One, what you're acknowledging, is predators, seniors, predators who are seniors,
predatory lending. Yes.
Preyed on, right? So back in like 2008, 2010, with the housing bubble burst, like the number one people that lost their homes, seniors. And so one, just plug it in for all of our listeners and our viewers. If you have seniors in your life, check up on them, right? Like make sure that their paperwork is in order, like, and just do like a health check. Just do a paperwork check. Just do an estate check. Just do that. And it doesn't have to be frequently because you can appeal. That's another part. You can appeal a lot of this stuff too. And there's a time frame that you can do all this with. But going back to the laws.
I'm going to have to jump off soon because I have to help with a program we're trying to hold on to, Free Public Access Radio. I'm supposed to be setting that up right now. One of the things, one of the things I want to say to you is you're right on target. Where you have institutions that service the community, this does not happen. What happened to the African American institutions that used to have our back? How in the world could this happen to us in New York City?
Well, that was the question. Right.
You have all these senior programs, but I was at a community meeting where our city council person was holding, and this is how I found out how serious the problem was. There was at least 20 to 30 elderly women in the audience, and one spokesperson stood up and said, I came to your office. You gave me a lawyer, and that lawyer was part of the problem and responsible for me losing my home. God. So we have to recognize and we have to be aware that Tish James in New York City is the head cop. She's supposed to be able to monitor these people. If one person says you're drunk, you need to sit down, you may not listen. 2 people say you're drunk, you need to sit down, you may not listen. But if 300 people say, hey, you're drunk, you need to sit down, then you better start paying attention. So it's one thing to say that this person that they are now, they just prosecuted him. All right. 12 he's being convicted of. 200 to 300 he stole, and he's probably flipped them already. There is no discussion of retribution to the victim. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is horrendous transference of wealth, again, from one group to another. And many of them are elders who have paid off on their mortgages altogether. But many others are people who were up to date on their mortgages, and they're being told, well, you didn't pay this bill, you didn't pay that bill. And they said, we never received it. I am not one of those victims, but the reason I joined the Coalition Against Deed Theft is that somebody complained that my sidewalk was uneven, and HPD, the housing department, sent me a summons that if I didn't replace it, they were going to replace the sidewalk and put a lien against my property. The minute that lien would have gone through, one of those corporate companies would have paid it and taken my house. I could see the handwriting on the wall. This is the way it happens. It's as easy as that. When I investigated further, I found out that it was an anonymous caller who made the complaint about my sidewalk. I secondly made them aware my sidewalk, if it had any perfections, was caused by the city. The city had redone my sidewalk when they had to increase the gas pressure because there was so many new high-rises built in my block. And so the company that replaced the sidewalk for the city was responsible. And you're talking about a bill that could be anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. So just that easy, you can become a victim of deed theft.
Wow.
It was but the point is, how did it start? An anonymous caller. What the hell are they, what are they doing taking an anonymous call like that? And to end this conversation, the block has over 30 houses. Only 3 of us got those complaints. Now, I don't have to tell you what color they were. The whole block didn't get those complaints. But the whole block had been subjected to the construction to put the gas lines in. So most of our block has been gentrified. They didn't bother the colonizers. They went after the colonial subjects. Yes, they want my house.
Yes, ma'am.
So Miss Betty, before you leave, if somebody is finding themselves in this situation, is there somebody that they can call in New York City?
Please tell them to contact the Coalition Against Deed Theft. If they Google it, the link will come up. The Coalition
Okay.
Against Deed Theft.
Is that
Yes.
stopdeedtheft.org?
No, I would say the Coalition Against Deed. That was one of their titles, but I would prefer that they use the specific name. And the president of the group is Evangeline Byers, Byers.
Okay.
And I apologize for having to jump off, but I do have another commitment.
Well, actually, we started late. We apologize to you.
No, you don't owe any apologies. You're doing good work, and we'll be glad to come back at another time. And thank you.
Absolutely. You taught us something tonight, Queen Mother. We appreciate
stay
it.
strong, people.
Thank you. Have a good one. You did the same.
Euro.
That elder has been out there longer than I have, at least 10, 15 years longer than I have, and she's still rumbling. And that ain't all she do. She just got into that fight recently. That ain't all she do. Rick should be behind. Rick should be coming up behind.
But I think, Asia, you was for people listening, you were telling people that they can appeal the process and
yeah. So majority of stuff, this is America, due process, right? You can't just do something and then it's just done. It's a matter of, and this is where like court rules and knowing the dates and extensions, etc. That's when numbers become important. And it's a matter of one, utilizing the courts. That's another thing. Sometimes things happen to people, and this is not of our people's fault. It's systematic, but people don't know when to use the courts. You can use the courts about for any reason. There's a whole court called general equity, and that court specifically talks about property. When property in question, what is going on, and utilizing the courts to help you navigate and get back property. And it is time consuming, but like Ms. Betty said, this is generational wealth, and families have poured their blood, sweat, and tears to purchasing homes, and for it to be uprooted by just a quick sign off, it's illegal, it's unfortunate, and better educating people on how our systems function, how our systems work. But yes, especially things of property, you can't just take property, right? Like it's truly in our U.S. Constitution, not only in the New Jersey Constitution, it's not something protected by municipalities, by counties, etc. But within the U.S. Constitution, the right to property, you can't just take it. You have the right to fight for it. It's called due process.
Well, we got
and local law is so all politics are local.
Amen.
That local. And I think what you said in the beginning, just staying on top of our paperwork and Tariq, he comes on at the top of the month, and as surrogate, I remember when he first got elected, he would go around talking about things that we can do to prepare for transitions and things like that. And sometimes it's something that we don't want to deal with, but we have to prepare ourselves better,
Amen. And Zaid, I know
most of us don't even know what a surrogate is, right? It's real talk, and I was very proud to see him step into those shoes, because it's a real space to really do some real educating in our community for those of us that have that little bit that we call our homes and our little bit that we can hold on and pass down, and between my generation and your generation, Asia, we've had problems with kids being able to keep up the homes of their parents and their grandparents, not having knowledge, not having that managerial clarity or maturity, and just losing their property.
Yeah, and that's real, and that's not just between our generations. That truly is this is a generational issue. How, especially within Black communities, and like you say with the surrogate and families not having wills to properly pass down property. When you have families that have 8 children or 4 children or 2 children, and there's no will to say who the property is going to, who the land is going to, who the estate going to, then it becomes the question of, well, once the parents have transitioned, who does the property go to? Do the children know that? And like you said, Zaid, are they able to keep up with the taxes? Are they paying the water bill? All these different things. And then there's another part where you do have predators out there. people are like our properties throughout, especially the South, right? Like my family, we come from the Jim Crow South, and there has been property within our family for generations. And developers are eyeing those properties, and they know who's with it. They know who's not like involved with it. They know like, oh, there's actually like a number of people that's entitled to this property. And with the courts, when there are a number of people that's entitled to a property and it can't be divided equally, and I'm talking about acres of land, I'm not talking about a house specifically, I'm talking about land. If the property can't be divided equally amongst all the parties who are entitled to it, the court will force a sell. You have to sell it. Or what sometimes happen, developers come in and they get one person to sell it off, and then they be part of the co-ownership. And then it's like, oh, we want to sell it now. We're the developers. We're part owner. We want to sell it. And they force the entire family to sell it off. And so I'm going to be really honest, Zaid. I did not know what a surrogate was until Tariq Kenny became a surrogate.
Hey, right? I mean, we can't make this stuff up. You know, stuff.
But that goes to your very point that it's important that we have these members in our community that represent us in these titles to better educate us. And Tariq does a phenomenal job of getting the word out about what's going on, whether it be on his social media page, whether it be educating people directly out of his office. He does a phenomenal job of putting us on to what is going on and what we need to do as it relates to his seat, the surrogate's office. And so, but yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was one of those people like a surrogate. What's that? And so thank you, Tariq Kenny. We appreciate you.
Yeah, a lot of money passes through surrogate courts. I learned about that, and I didn't work with it directly, but I used to be a litigation paralegal for a big Park Avenue law firm years ago. And, every once in a while, it'd be some litigation in surrogate court. And I would have to, process serving and all. And that's how I learned about it. It was this black lawyer. She was I can't remember her name, but she was a legend among black lawyers in New York. And to pick up some papers for her, because she was I guess in that particular instance, she was a client. She sat me down. She said, "Son, you wouldn't have no idea how much money comes through this court, and our people really have no idea on what's going on." She sat me down. I never forget that. Right?
Yeah.
She really explained what that was. I said, "Wow, okay, you taught me something." And this thing in Brooklyn, most of this is Brooklyn.
Okay.
Right? Trying to gentrify the hell out of Brooklyn. One man was convicted of 12 counts of that, but he was involved in dozens. And then they raised the question about where is the district attorneys on this? Why are they not, banging up hard? And you heard a call out the Democratic Party in New York. The Democratic Party in New York can be dirty in terms of, who they're running for office, but this is incorrigibly foul. Somebody have to go for some of this.
Absolutely. And
I'm gonna try to get Stephanie on too. She's a sharp young sister. She's in when we're in the streets of New York. Stephanie gets out in the streets with us.
I know that's
right. Good sister. So she's Assembly District in Brooklyn. Good sister.
Nice.
In that fight.
Yeah, and so let's plug in, become lawyers, go to law school. The importance of people that are for us and by us understand the system and can better help us navigate through it, because they've been trained in it. They have the passion for it. You don't only need people that have passion for law. You need people that have passion for the people, and passion for the community. And so that's a plug. Take the LSAT, go to law school, pass the bar. That's one plug. And then 2, elections matter, right? And so she, like you said, she had pointed out the Democrat Party. At the end of the day, we need to know who is running and what they stand for, because they are running under a certain party does not automatically make them for us and by us. We need to do our due diligence. elections matter. And again, no matter what the party is, we need to know who our representatives are or who want to represent us and where they stand. And if they're up for re-election, what have they done? What have they stand for? What things have they pushed? And so making sure that we hold people accountable, our electeds accountable at the booth, because that's the number one place we hold people accountable at, our electeds at the booth.
And Jersey ain't no better. They don't call this the Soprano State for nothing. Jersey, we got some gaslighting Democrats like all get out in this state. And you better do your due diligence, or you'll be done diligently.
Amen. Amen. Especially with property taxes, the cost of utilities. And
yes, Donna mentioned it, and and her daughter just got elected, thankfully.
Yes.
Frederica Bay, trying to call out Frederica and their organization. They had an Women in Support of the Million Man March, went through a horrible ordeal. Started with a school that they built. They built a charter school.
Okay.
Right. And then, just a lot of rigmarole on some internal disagreements. There's some backdoor stuff. And then all of a sudden there was an investigation, an attack on their property, to lose all of that. It's a horrible story that has never really seen the proper educational light that it should have. Going towards the Million Man March and coming out of the Million Man March, those sisters were a force. They started a child care program and a charter school that they named after Adelaide Sanford, who was one of the top Black educators in New York City. A tremendous lady of grace, who's in her 90s now. She's still living. Amen. As a board member supporting that school, but it came under attack. And this is a very politically charged attack too.
Yeah.
County machine, right? It was very politically charged, ugly on the left side, and they came up, got shortchanged. We got to fight for everything.
Amen.
Everything we got to fight the book runs.
Amen. And it's trying to be one of those things where lessons learned, right? Instead of repeating history. And so how were they able to do that? And what can we do to prevent it? And even if they can't go off of the actual, right, like starting a school, that's beautiful, right? That's the next generation. That's empowering the next generation, providing childcare service. Not only is that educating children, but that's also allowing workforce development, right? Like that's allowing families to be able to have a safe and secure place that they know they can take their children so that they can go to work, provide, so that they can go to school, be educated, get a job, or so that they can get some type of revenue, so that they can open a business or just be business owners in general. And so what ways were they able to, as you said, like they weren't even attacking like the education portion of it, but they did it with the property. And so what were the legal implications, like finding those little loopholes that just dismantled the entire program itself, which is unfortunate. But us as a people being like, okay, that's how they did it. What should we do? What do we need to do to prevent that for the future? Because as our previous speaker, Ms. Betty, explained, they're using law. So what can we do within our powers? What can our elected officials do at the local level, state level, etc., do to protect us? And closing those loopholes for the betterment of our community, for our people. But interesting times. And like you said, her daughter, Miss Amina Bay, she was just elected as the Central Ward Councilwoman. So congratulations to her. Congratulations on the Central Ward. They haven't had a council member for about a year now. So congratulations to them.
Yeah,
congratulations.
There's been an election right away after that.
one of those taxations with no representation. So congratulations to the Central Ward for having a representative. That's not funny, but sometimes we gotta laugh to keep from crying. And a lot of elections just passed, and I know that y'all have already done about 1 or 2 shows since the governor's election and Virginia and California's recent bill that was passed. And so fun times ahead of us and lots of work to do. Lots of work to do. Stay educated, y'all. Stay educated. Talk about important time to be educated. It is important to be in the know. Make sure that you have multiple sources of information. Don't just rely on IG, on Facebook. Make sure you pick up books, read newspapers. It is time.
That's something I'm trying to come to terms with.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a property owner just within the last year and a half.
Congratulations.
And I'm in a co-op. Right?
Oh, those are interesting.
In that building, I haven't even moved in yet for some other reason.
Yeah.
Right? But so we have a different vibration, and you got to really go through our co-op to start messing our building.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But just the process of trying to get that little piece of space that I got, was something that told me that if you are a homeowner or stable enough to be a homeowner, you probably should have somebody in the way of a lawyer that you either retain regularly or have access to on a regular as needed kind of basis.
Amen.
Just to keep your stuff up, just to, because you never know when you're going to come under some kind of bogus attack, or your children going to face something, because go through stuff, and that's just something that I'm just learning to appreciate. And I always need no lawyers to fight for other battles, but never really thought about it for myself and my own day-to-day survival,
Amen. Wait, so Zaid,
shows us that.
I think there are people waiting
yes,
behind the scenes to
Charnette and Councilman Charnette and Donna should both be backstage and should be brought back on so they can go into this next segment. Charnette is on time. I want to apologize to everyone. Rick Robinson was supposed to be with us, and he was, because of the late start. He actually pulled himself out of the backstage thing, not realizing that I was trying to
pull him. Still here. I think he still might be backstage.
Yeah, but we're running into her time now. That's
got it.
Now we got a packed show. So I just sent him a text. I want to apologize to him and apologize to everybody that wanted to hear what he said about the CCRB. This clergy tour is real and very important. It's, get folks to understand that for all of its limitations, it does indeed exist, and it is only going to be strong as people's participation in it.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, the first stop of that clergy tour is going to be Mount Calvary Mission Baptist Church on Seymour Avenue in Newark at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. under the leadership of Pastor Ralph Branch. And I believe Pastor Branch is also one of the clergy reps on the CCRB, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the CCRB is getting ready to do monthly public meetings in addition to the clergy tour. So we definitely had a lot to talk to Rick back. I don't know why. I see we don't, and everybody, we don't. Those of us who are on stage that you're looking at on camera, we don't do the controls. We need somebody backstage to do that.
I don't have the controls. I'm not too sure.
And that was the issue. We had trouble starting.
Got it.
Starting because our tech person had not received the link to do the show from that particular link. It's a technical thing. That's something we need to probably address in our own circles, and making sure that everybody that's co-hosting probably should get the link too, so we can back each other up moving forward.
You know? So Mr. Rick Robinson, he just asked, so can I leave now?
Yes, so you are excused.
I think the answer is a yes,
You're
and we're sorry.
me. I would say to my troops.
And we greatly apologize.
Man, yeah. But we need. I don't know how to bring her forward. Yeah, we need to be able to bring her forward.
Because she is patiently waiting for us. Got it. So, but as we try to figure that out, Zaid, I agree. I think our community, we know attorneys to be criminal defense attorneys, or we know our attorneys in the criminal defense perception. And so when you think of lawyers, you're like prosecutors, public defenders, criminal defense attorneys.
That's just what we see on TV, and then we get out when we get our behinds locked up.
Precisely. But then, like, when you explain to them there's civil matters and it's just plaintiff defendant. When you have an issue, you have a dispute, when you don't see eye to eye with someone that you're in a contract with, or whatever the case may be, you can go to court. Or sometimes you don't need a lawyer, to your point, Zaid, to even go to court. You just need advice. You just need an opinion. You just need someone to review something and say, is this good or is this bad? And I'm also going to plug in, and you got to pay them. Attorneys is not like, there are attorneys that you can receive free legal assistance in a multitude of ways, but just how when you go to your car dealer and you need your car to get fixed, when you go to your doctor and you need to get a checkup, just how when you go to your hair salon or your barber and you need to get a fixed up really quick and you pay the people. Same thing with attorneys. You got to pay attorneys too for their advice, for their knowledge, and for their assistance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me try and see if we can bring Dr. Charnette on, because she's got a new book, and I don't know what we got several people backstage.
Yeah, we do. I don't know how to click them in at all, but the show, we will try to let the show go on as we undergo these technical difficulties and figuring all that out. And so here on All Politics Are Local, hip hop's number one hip hop radio talk show. I remember when I first was on the radio show years ago at this point, which is crazy. I wanted to be able to like memorize that so that I can say it. Because when Ed says it, it just sounds so cool. And I'm a woman, so I have a higher pitch than Ed does. But I just want to be cool saying it, just like Ed.
You should glad you try to say it.
Number one hip hop radio talk show.
She get tongue twisted, and she keep on going.
So funny. Definitely all the vibes, and the amount of people that have come on this show that I've had the pleasure of bringing on the show, the amount of people that have graced us with their knowledge and wisdom has definitely been educational on my behalf. And so I can only imagine from our viewers and listeners the appreciation of it. And Zaid, we've become besties because of this show. Because once upon a time, who's Asia? Who's Zaid? Now we walk down the street, we giving each other hugs. Bestie status right now. All because of Politics Local. I appreciate it just because of you in my life. Hands down.
We need y'all to come forward, but people don't realize, Ed is a very man of a few words kind of brother, but he's since he was quite young, he's always had an eye for, entrepreneurial engagement of a media kind. He had a hell of a magazine in his college years, and this is he went from college into law school. I forget the name of the magazine. It was a good magazine too, right? So he always had an eye for this, and you know, and this is his brainchild. You know, Jonathan was his little brother who he shopped the idea with, and Jonathan is the master teacher with the gift of gab and conversation of a very advanced kind.
Amen. Yes, he is.
Right, and they really put together a platform that has
Mm,
served this community quite well, and we've had folks from all over the country
mm.
doing real things on this platform. I was, and there was a whole nother segment I was even trying to build out.
Yeah. How did you come on?
Bashir Muhammad Patah Akinyele,
Mm.
one of the founders. Bashir was one of my soldiers in the New Black Panther Party.
Ah.
And Bashir, at some point several years ago, I guess this is right before COVID, had decided that he had to step away.
Hmm.
When he stepped away, Ed asked me to come in and help him with content, to come on in and help him. And so
Okay.
I've been here ever since, you know, through that particular vehicle. But Bashir is you know,
Bashir's is that week right now, right?
he's the teaching legend at Weekway High School.
Amen.
Back in of almost 30 years of teaching, and
Amen.
you know, and very much a community teacher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He used to light this. He used to run his segments like they were, you know, temple meetings. You know, round applauses and you know,
I love
everybody had their own flavor for the show.
I know that's right. And Ed has allowed people, has cultivated that, right? And so it stays within a theme, and he allows there to be growth, allows people to show up in their true authentic self. And that's a testament to him, and also his foresight of allowing it to grow, right? If you stay like in a certain kind of way and you just hold on to it, then you don't allow growth. And so I greatly appreciate our All Politics, our local family, both our listeners, our viewers, my co-hosts. And I love that story, Zaid, that connection with Bashir. It's also like one of those like small worlds. And so treat everyone well. You don't know who knows who. And being like your true authentic self, and everyone, I know everyone that I've worked with here has their own flavor, and it's all love. And again, Ed, he has a theme and he lets people play with it. And make it their own. And so we appreciate Ed, we appreciate our family. And so wait, so how long have you been here? You said
I would say just before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Early before COVID.
Nice.
Early before COVID is when I came on. And it was a difficult time for all of us. And it was a difficult time for me even then. But you know, I was glad to be able to come in and do what I can in terms of, you know, really trying to bring some real folks who are doing some real stuff.
Yeah.
Here and nationally.
Yeah.
And so
were you ever on as a guest?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much, but a few times, maybe about 2 or 3 times prior to coming on.
Okay.
But not much.
Okay, I asked because I've never heard you answer the most favorite question here on All Politics Are Local. And so maybe we can take this opportunity now to ask Mr. Zaid, who is his favorite rap artist, rap group, rap song?
No, if you know my history, you would know the answer to that. But if you don't, first I have to make this disclaimer. When I was at Rutgers Newark 1,000 years ago, you know, it's our generation that really was responsible for the launch of hip hop, right? Mm. At the same time, that my generation of jazz musicians became the bridge from the 20th century to the 21st century.
Mm.
When I was at school, Rutgers Newark, late 70s, early 80s, I had a jazz radio show. I was a jazz dude.
Oh.
I'm a jazz.
Okay.
So, everything for me starts with John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, and on down the line. But on the matter of hip hop, as a son of the Black Panther Party, our most famous cover of the Black Panther Party is Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Nice.
Everything after that is, y'all talk among yourselves.
And what about anything before that?
I gotta think about it because, like I said, my mindset with music was totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. I love the music that I grew up on. The funk, from the 60s and in the early 70s. I love that stuff. I always wanted to have I had a jazz show. I always wanted to have a classic soul show.
Yeah.
That is, coming around as the younger generations are rediscovering their parents and their grandparents' music. Trying to figure out how to hip hopericize it. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
That's really what I have a whole volume of social justice poems based upon the music that we grew. I just simply call them the soul poems.
Amen.
But yeah, Pac was it. I was very proud of Dead Prez, Public Enemy.
Okay.
Those kind of folks.
Okay.
When that was popping, X-Clan was led by Lumumba Carson.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Lumumba, well, I'm gonna tell you about his daddy.
Okay.
Because I used to ride with his daddy. His daddy was the great Abubadika Sonny Carson. Sonny Carson, Black Power legend in Brooklyn.
Okay.
In the 60s, he ran Brooklyn's chapter of CORE, Congress of Racial Equality, and then they don't come any more militant. And Sonny was, as a young man, like a lot of us, he was a banger. Actually, not allowed to even live in Queens in Brooklyn as an adult. He had to live in Queens because of the character of how he was convicted and ultimately released. But there was a movie that is a Black history or Black cult film classic called The Education of Sonny Carson.
Oh, okay.
And that's about when Sonny was a banger. But it was coming out of those gang wars. His particular set had some chance that we would later use to shut down the streets of Brooklyn and take the Brooklyn Bridge and shut it down. What's the sound of war? Zoom! That kind of stuff.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Lumumba was Sonny's son.
Okay.
Leader of X-Clan.
Okay.
X-Clan had its political content edge because of who Lumumba and Lumumba's daddy was. And they also leaned a lot on P-Funk in their music, right? And I'm originally from Plainfield, New Jersey. That's the home of Parliament Funkadelic. The home of the P-Funk, the uncut funk, the bomb.
I know, right? That's right.
So that's my other hip hop family.
Oh, I love that.
The other hip hop family.
Oh, nice. And so, do you have like a favorite Tupac song?
No.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
I like a bunch of them. The one that probably resonates in my head a lot is Changes. The way it is, because that's an old a pop medley. I don't even remember the white boy that did the song they use as the hook in the background.
Okay.
Make that one of his signature pieces. And Pac made that work. It just flowed.
I know that's right. So Tupac, when I was a guest on the show and they asked me the question, Tupac was also my artist that I selected. And I would say one of his favorite, something that he's produced, that's my favorite. It's not necessarily one of his songs, but one of his poetries. And that's like The Rose That Grew. I love that. And it's so beautiful. And I think I personally connected with it in so many different ways, right? And all the different whether hardships, struggles that I've had to endure, my family had to endure, and yet still being able to be this person that God has allowed me to be is not necessarily because, right, like in a garden full of dirt and just sunshine just pouring in, people just not like stepping on it. It's just like the rose that grew from the concrete. And it's definitely very hopeful and very beautiful. And so, yeah.
That CD, and you saw me pause for a minute because I was actually trying to check my emotions. On the CD, the rose that grew from concrete. Geronimo Pratt reads the poem. Geronimo Pratt was one of the defense ministers of the Southern California chapters of the party. He was a decorated vet of the Vietnam War, and his military prowess really showed a lot of Panthers how to defend their officers when under attack from the police. The whole SWAT team, as you know it, is a response to the Black Panther Party. A lot of Black Panther Party survivors of SWAT attacks because of Geronimo Pratt. Geronimo died around the same time Assata's mother died, and just right after September, right? That Pac himself died, and we're getting ready to do a tribute to Assata tomorrow. So all of that is just swirling around in my head, and this is Donna coming back in, right?
Donna, yeah, she looks like she's on the phone, still trying to figure things out.
Able to get back in, we can get some of our guests, and we can keep moving.
Yes, but I appreciate this conversation, Zaid. Thank you.
We were in Radio Land. We got to talk. We can't just stop and wait.
And you know what? We're good at it.
All right, we got a guest in the building.
All right, listen. Technical difficulty is nothing like that real live studio, isn't it? And so let this be a lesson to AI.
Good evening.
Listen, guys, AI. This is real people having mistakes. Can you imagine if AI had a mistake? Listen, let this. Hi, Councilwoman Dr. Frederic, how are you today? Dr. Frederic, Councilwoman, how are you?
Yay.
How are you? So thank you for your patience. We apologize about the technical difficulties. I'm going to ask if you're not speaking to mute so we won't get the feedback.
We're getting a squeak.
Okay. And Dr. Frederic, can you mute for a second?
Sure.
Okay. So it helps if we ask the question, then you unmute and answer the questions because you're going to continue to get feedback. But thank everybody for their patience with us right now. If you didn't hear me, I said, listen, with all of this AI coming up, pay attention. That was technical difficulties with 4 human and 5 human beings. Imagine if we were all AI. So I don't know. This was a good lesson, but welcome back. Tonight we have on this segment, Dr. Charnette Frederic, who is our councilwoman from Irvington, New Jersey. She just recently had a book that she's going to tell us about. I've had the pleasure of knowing Councilwoman for many years. And Councilwoman, I know, when we were last, talking, engaging, you were doing your PhD in the midst of it. And at that point, you were concentrating on, everybody's clapping, on sickle cell. I don't know if you transitioned, but tell us about your book. And it was talking about you coming from Haiti and how you were able to leverage through community activism, the power that you have and what you've done in that seat, and you've done tremendous things. So please bring us up to where you are, how the book is going. And like I said, I know when we were last talking that you were doing your PhD around sickle cell. So just, bring us up to speed.
All right. Can you hear me? It sounds like we're never gonna stop saying that.
Okay.
First, good evening, Councilwoman Williams. It's always a pleasure, and I was so happy to see your text as always. For those of you who do not know Irvington, when it comes for Essex County, I think we are so great with each other in the county. And Orange, sisters, places around. It's always great to be with you. Again, thank you. All politics are local. It was so excited because I had somebody else talk about your talk show. So people, notice you guys. And great job, Zaid and Aisha. It was amazing to hear you. Aisha, you did an amazing job keeping whatever is happening with the technical difficulty. Just simply amazing.
About hip hop.
I don't know if you guys did amazing. So, just amazing. So my name again is Councilwoman Charnette Frederic. I'm the council person at large for Township of Irvington since 2012. As Councilwoman Williams stated, I did have a PhD in chemistry from Seton Hall University last year, 2024. And from my heart, I'm always a writer since I was little. So it's something that I always wanted to do. And finally, when I published my book, I was so excited. So therefore, you wanted me to tell you a little bit more what's happening. For me, what I did was finally wrote about what I always wanted to write about. It's my life, and as Councilwoman Williams mentioned, it's like a memoir, starting with my journey, from Haiti to America, and then how education was a it was very amazing. It's a book of love, okay? And I cannot wait to give Councilwoman a hard copy sign, and then to make sure that we're all on the same page. But really, the book described my journey, and sometimes people always ask, Charnette, how do you do all that you do? Finally, I have a book, because not only I am a councilwoman, but also I am a senior supervisor at Johnson & Johnson in the CAR-T role, doing cancer quality control with their cancer research for multiple myeloma. And then I'm also sit on the board of Sustainable Jersey. And then I'm a champion for Irvington Green. And so therefore, anything sustainable, anything related to mayor wellness program, I'm always there to make sure that the township, the perception within the township is there. So having this book is an incredible journey for me, and then cannot wait for you all to read and share your feedback, because the way I look at it was, it's not perfect, but it's me. And then at the end of the day, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I must say something so cool, because in the beginning I wanted to call it Made in Haiti, but one of my marketing persons said, Charnette, this story is for all immigrants. So from Haiti to America sounds more fitted. And as a result, it was changed, just to tell you how important it is to always be flexible, to make sure that we are advanced in this world. So hopefully you all know a little bit of my background, and hopefully I can answer some more questions. But if you need the book, it is on Amazon. You can always have it. Everywhere I go now, I got books in my car, because it's so excited to share my journey with everyone. So looking forward to hear some more of the question and share my journey with all of you.
Zaid, you go ahead. I was going to answer. You want the first question?
Well, first, I haven't seen you since the early days of your joining the city council. You came through once or twice when we had the popcorn kids at the Irvington Library. I don't know if you can remember that, but I do remember it. Right. So I just I had no. Now I'm listening to you talk about this science background you have. Right. That's a lot, and I wish we knew about it then, because I would have cornered you and drafted you to come talk to our kids more regularly. Right. Just two things. One, how often do you get a chance to talk to our sons and daughters, our grandsons and granddaughters, about their own innate ability to become scientists, right? Because we have this thing in public education where math and science is not for black kids, right? And that's one of the biggest white lies ever told. Our ancestors invented it, right? But it's a dangerous lie. But you are incredible package for that. And second, you come from Haiti, right? The land that gave us Pan-Africanism, right? I was born on Boy Came On, right? August 14th, and I definitely want to hear what you have learned, know, and can share about the impact of Melissa on IT, because that's not getting the conversation that Jamaica is. Cuba is a whole different conversation because Cuba has a way of dealing with those kind of natural disasters that the rest of the world needs to learn from. But we would love to hear your feedback on how you engage with our young. What would you say to our young about the sciences, and what can you tell us about what's happening back home?
Wonderful, Zaid. Great question. As you mentioned, when it comes for science perspective, I think that's one of the reasons why I get involved in politics is because of our young kids. Every opportunity that I have to go to the school district to talk about our children and the importance of being science major, I try my best to do that. And especially in New Jersey. New Jersey, I think, is one of the states with the most pharmaceutical company in. After New Jersey, I think we have California. Just to tell you, having a major in biology, chemistry, you got so much that you can do when it comes for our children. And being African American or Black in this sphere is even more important. Me as a supervisor at Johnson & Johnson, I make it my priority to make sure we hire our Black and brown. The reason for that is if we don't give them the opportunity, nobody does. And the science is on my side, the numbers on my side. I make sure, like, if we're hiring anybody, I call on to make sure I get the resume that I need to get, because sometimes even doing the recruiters process, some resume, you don't even see them. So we have to be very mindful of what needs to be done when it comes for us on the place that we are. I'm so proud on the things that I accomplished and the things that we're going to encourage our children to do. And then the key thing is, sometimes what I tell our children is continue to go after things that you think it's important. Meaning, for example, you cannot sit and hoping things gonna get done. You got to go applying. Like, for example, Johnson & Johnson has mentorship program. Don't forget, for example, for Johnson & Johnson, they are from Jersey. You know what I mean? It's one of not that many pharmaceutical company that we have, but Johnson & Johnson is from Jersey. You know what I mean? Prior to Johnson & Johnson, I used to work at Novartis when it comes for the same concept of cell and gene therapy. This is individualized medicine for lymphoma. And prior to Novartis, I used to work at Roche Molecular System and their diagnostic tool. Still in quality control. Those are the things I talk about in the book. And I even talk about growing up in Haiti, as you mentioned, the importance of knowing who we are. It was very important. And coming here with my accent, until now, people might look at me different because, I have a different accent. But guess what? That doesn't limit me of who I am. And those are the things that I spoke with the children, especially in the school district in Irvington. And I remind them sometimes, even especially the parents, when it comes for parent-teacher association, when I used to have children and parent-teacher association, I used to remind them that you don't need to speak English to be parents. First, you have to know your responsibility, and the district and us, we're going to be there to support you because you're not alone. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons, as a council member today, I told everyone I'm one phone call away. Once you call me, my goal is to support, because I know how difficult it is to be voiceless. And with my accent, hey, I'm proud of it because I believe everyone have an accent. So therefore, that's not supposed to limit us on who we are and what needs to be done. Again, this book is like literally a testament of all the things that I've accomplished, but at the same time, empower our community. And coming from Haiti, we are bold, we are brave, and we understand what is freedom is about. As a reason, I bring that passion inside to make sure that people understand that Yeah, people understand that it doesn't matter who we are. We're so lucky being alive. So my story is it's one, but each of us has an amazing story. You know what I mean? So therefore, don't be afraid to share it. And if you think about from science perspective, you have millions of sperm that go to one egg, and you are here. That's from the beginning. We are chosen. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse to tell you the truth, to make sure that, to have an excuse to be who we are. But the most important thing is, whatever we decide to be, you have to go after it. We have to follow up. You have to be intentional. You know what I mean? Until now, Zahid, I go to the library because we have poetry night on first Thursday of the month. I participate. We wrote together. I talk about my story and encouraging young writers, because when I was growing up in Haiti, my dear, I enjoyed the garden. I enjoyed the trees, the mango, and everything about the nature in Haiti. I felt free. And at one time, I believe I had a superpower, because I believe if I wrote something, it'll come true. So you see what I mean? Like that imagination, that creativity, I think is very important in our youth. And until today, every time I have a chance to participate in anything the municipality is doing, and anything that a nonprofit or any organization is doing, I'm more than happy to follow up, because I understand just to be a cheerleader for our community, which is needed.
Asia, do you have a question?
Amen. I love the passion. I love how you're showing up, and it clearly is a testament to how you represent your people in Irvington, how you're representing the beautiful nation of Haiti. And so I do have a question regarding your book. Is there one excerpt that you want to highlight for us, for our listeners, that part of your story that you think is important? Well, your entire story is important, but that one part of your story that if it wasn't there, then you wouldn't be here, type ordeal.
Very nice question, Asia. So for me, as much as I am a council member, I'm also working at Johnson & Johnson, but also I believe in entrepreneurship. I have my businesses. One of my chapter, I talk about the importance. There's no way a 9-to-5 gonna make you a millionaire. It's very important to figure it out. What is your niche? To figure it out how to become the millionaire, the billionaire. In our community, I don't think we talk enough about money. So therefore, I think that is very important to encourage our children or our youth and anybody to figure it out life to become millionaire and billionaire. I'll give you an example. For example, with my son, I told him, hey, it doesn't matter what age you are. Early on, I think he was born. And then because we're next door to New York, we went to Central Cast, you know what I mean, to be part of a commercial or even movies, just to give you the understanding that importance of make sure that you can make money, and you don't need to be an adult to make money. But I think it's important that I read a little bit from the book, so at least to give people a little bit of understanding what they will be expected if they purchase this book. The first thing that I did is, I think that was very important, was within the book, I quoted various people, and then that guide me on the structure of the book. For example, when it comes for education, I stated education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. That's a quote from John Dewey. When it comes for climbing the corporate ladder, when it comes for my career in Johnson & Johnson or anywhere else that I do, I quoted Steve Jobs that stated the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And that's one of the reasons when it comes to me, all the things that I'm doing, I can always invite my husband, my son, when it comes as a council person, because it's not work, because it's what I love to do. So therefore, I'm going to read the last part of the book. It stated, from the rural heart of Casal to the council member of Irvington, New Jersey, from Haiti to America, tells the empowering story of a woman who's above her circumstances to become a force for change. Dr. Charnette Frederic takes readers on a powerful voyage through her childhood in Haiti, her pursuit of education, her climb through corporate America, and her unexpected yet unwavering rise in public service. This memoir is not just a personal story, it's a call to action. With honesty, heart, and wisdom, Charnette shared how she found her voice and used it to uplift others, fight for equity, ignite change in her community and beyond. Through heartbreak, triumph, and dedicated balance of family, career, and advocacy, she revealed the strength that comes from purpose and the resilience from culture. For anyone who's ever wondered if they have what it takes to make a difference, this book is your answer. It is bold, it is brave, it is Haitian made.
All right. I don't know if you're saying Brother Dumas has constantly said, my councilwoman, my councilwoman. So Brother Dumas has shouted you out
Right.
several times. I know at one point he wanted to make sure that you got governor-elect to make sure when we was trying to get her on the show. So Councilwoman, this memoir, I just know we can see your passion tells us everything and that we can begin to know about you. Zaid have asked about you going and speaking to young people. And, one of the things that we want to do is connect you. Are you familiar with Source of Knowledge, the bookstore downtown Newark?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, the owner just lost her sister, and we want to send our love out to Masani, but we're going to connect you with her to make sure that your book is on her shelves. And what I would like to know, now that we have a new governor, and we know last Tuesday the 4th, I know that you were doing some work with Governor-elect. Is there anything in particular that you are hoping that the governor-elect concentrates on in terms of our urban communities? Councilwoman, did you hear me? Zaid, are we still here?
Yeah, we're here. You here?
Yeah, we're here.
Keep
Okay.
talking. She's
Okay,
muted.
Councilwoman, did you hear me? I think she's frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, did you hear me, Councilwoman? I see you moving now.
There
Can you
go.
hear me?
Sorry about that. It sounds like I had. Yes, I could hear you, but I couldn't hear the last part of the question. But I have a feeling what was about when it comes for the governor-elect. Can you repeat the last part about it? Sorry.
Is there anything that you would like her to see work on in our urban communities? Is there any particular areas that you would like to see her work on?
As you know, when it comes for our urban community, I hear a lot of questions when it comes for us in Irvington related to the state of New Jersey. First of all, our issues, it's America issue. So when it comes for jobs, the cost of living, and as you know, the new governor and all that you see throughout that election in November, everybody worry about the cost of living because it's very expensive. When it comes immigrant, as me from Haiti, as you know, it's so heartbreaking for the immigrant community on the way they treat people without dignity, the way they don't understand the pain, our the immigrant community is going through. When it comes for me as a council member, I make it my priority, not only that I speak with them, I will take them, for example, to the doctor's office. I will go with them to the school district if they have issues when it comes for their children, to remind them that they're not alone and it's okay they don't speak the language, because we are here for a reason. So with that being said, when it comes for immigration community, when it comes for the immigration, the way the federal government is working right now is very difficult. I cannot wait that we continue to work with our community to make sure they make them feel safe, and then treat them with dignity. But at the same time, our issues in Irvington is issue of everybody. One of my residents called me prior to the election. One of their concern was insurance. For some reason, in urban community like Irvington, our insurance is up to the roof. Despite Irvington is one of the municipality right now, we have only one homicide for the whole year 2025. Knock on wood, pray God, we're not December yet, but we will be one of the safest municipalities since the inception of this municipality when it comes for homicide. What does that mean? But nobody pay attention to this. So because why? Because the insurance people still making more money because they say urban community. And those are the things we really want to prove. How can we do better? How they can treat us better. And that's one of the reasons that when I first became a council person in 2012, and I went to the League of Municipality, I learned about sustainable Jersey. I wanted to show Irvington a whole different perspective. As a result, we are certified, bronze sustainable municipality. You know what I mean? By make sure we encourage wellness program, encouraging community garden, encouraging renewable energy, because I didn't want people to think about our community just from a negative perspective. And then it is something that it worked for the, some people, like the insurance, So that's the reason we really need to make sure that they change the perception of our municipality, make sure we continue to put it in a positive level. So, and then it's not just my work, it's all of our community work. And then I know my mayor and all my council members, we've been doing an incredible job. There's no infighting in politics in Irvington. And I love your show by saying all politics are local. You know what I mean? And people constantly asking Charnette, when you become mayor, I'm like, the mayor is always there for me. Whatever the question that I have, all the directors is there. Why do I need to why do I need a title change if we can make a difference, And hence the book, you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't need a title like you right now, Councilwoman Williams. You know what I mean? You continue to voice your the changes that is needed, and it doesn't matter who we are, and you can make a difference. So with that being said, there's a lot that we need to work on, and we don't need me as a council member, because we need all of us to keep on fighting, because without us, they're going to continue to look at the Black community as a problem, while we're not a problem, because it's a perception problem.
It's a racist problem. That's what it is.
You said, Zahir, exactly.
Well, we're getting ready to go on to our next segment. And we thank you for your patience, but we have one question that we have.
Let me ask it this time.
Okay,
Donna.
good.
I want Jeanette to appreciate something in terms of healthcare legacy in our community. We're getting ready to segue to a segment on Assata Shakur. Assata was my big sister and comrade, and with my roots in the Black Panther Party. And one of the things that Assata and the party did was create free medical clinics and made sickle cell anemia a household word for the Black community in the 1960s and the 1970s. And I have sickle cell in my family, right? And that's one of the things that drew me to the party as a young man. So I want you to know that, community, there is a place for those of us who have health consciousness and health skills. So you always have a place to work when you are in your own community. Right? I just wanted to share that with you. Now, this is a hip hop talk show, a political talk show. So we ask this ritual question of everybody when they come on their way out. And when you're trying to get yourself together to do your great work, who is your favorite hip hop group or rap group, or who do you listen to get your head in the spirit to be motivated to fully do what you do?
Oh my goodness. That a great question, because as I was listening prior to coming in, I heard you talk about change with Tupac, but I want that this girl is on fire, because for me, sometimes I definitely enjoying the fact that encouraging the woman artists, but Tupac is definitely that lyric on Change. You know what I mean? It's definitely resonate with me. But The Girl on Fire, that's definitely another song that I really appreciate. Pretty much.
All right, Councilwoman. Listen, we got Milky Sadak and Wycliffe listening sometime. You better give Wycliffe a shout out.
That's for sure. And then the beauty about Wyclef Jean, he's not afraid to be Haitian. You know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
I'm so appreciative. And that's one of the key things for me. When I first become a council person, I didn't care what people think of me. And everybody knows that I'm Haitian because the first thing that I did, I started with Haitian Independence Day on January 1st.
Right.
That's
So
right.
but now, for the past 13 years, we celebrate Haitian Independence Day on January 1st. And I always draw like thousands, hundreds of people. And people couldn't understand why people coming. And I'm like, you don't get it. It's Haitian Independence Day. So I invite you all, celebrate with me Haitian Independence Day on January 1st at 7 o'clock in Irvington. I will send you the invitation, Councilwoman Dr. Williams. And then what you always said, the Haitian freedom is a Black freedom, and and then there's so much in common that we have. So cannot wait, we can celebrate together. And I'm hoping this is not the first, and then we can continue to be with you all and improve and share the knowledge. And then there's so much more we can say when it comes for sickle cell disease. Me myself also involved, Haiti, we have a lot of sickle cell disease as well. That awareness is very important, and then educate the people is very important. And even doing the test, because back in my country they think it was mystical, it was voodoo, you know what I mean, when people are sick, because they couldn't explain it. There's so much we can talk about it, but go ahead and read the book. I talk about all those things in the book, about the myth, the voodoo, the education, and everything, the beautiful place that we call Haiti. So it's just a great time to be with you all. Great panel, and I'm just impressed for all that you do, and looking forward for another invitation. But great to be with you all.
And Dr. Frederic, we know that the league is coming up. Don't be a stranger, and don't wait for us to call you. If there's something that we need to know, feel free to reach out, and we will. And I'll reach out to you about the bookstore and getting a copy of the book for all of us. So you'll be here for us soon.
Too, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
We got to get back. That's right. That's right. Let's see if we can get back on track.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. All right, Mr. JP.
Hey, JP.
Great JP Sloan of Community Movement Builders in the building.
And Dr. Frederic, you can just sign out. Yep.
Yeah, what's going on, Young G? You all right? Now we're a little behind schedule, so I want to apologize to you and
For your
everybody
patience,
doing
JP.
with that. We've had some tech glitches, so we started a little late, so it jammed up some of our segments. We even lost one, apologetically, on the whole question of police accountability that was quite important. So we're playing a lot of catch up. This young man and some others came to me wanting to do something that we're going to do tomorrow for Assata Olugbala Shakur. And I was so proud that they did that and wanted to do that and were willing to listen to a crazy old man like me help them put that together. But I'm going to actually shut up and let him tell the community movement builder story and why doing something for Assata is important to them, to their generation, and their walk. Welcome back, son. Come on, take us to school. Tell us what's happening tomorrow and why that's important.
All right. Yeah. So just to remind folks, thanks for having me back, first of all. And yeah, really appreciated the previous segment. But yeah, just to remind folks, Community Movement Builders is a member-based collective of activists and working class and poor Black folks. Our purpose is to build sustainable communities and sustainable institutions that our people control, and that looks like doing things related to ending police brutality, stopping the tide of gentrification, and then also building sustainable networks. And we're all rooted in Black love. That's one of our main core values. But yeah, tomorrow we're very excited to honor our fallen comrade, fallen soldier, fallen sister Assata Shakur. we think it's important to do so. Immediately after her passing, folks who sent their condolences or celebrated Assata were instantly attacked. And, we think it's important to uphold the legacy that she represents. And, we want to still say, so many places said whenever Assata was with us, that Assata is still welcome here. Her spirit is still welcome, and her struggle is still welcome, because it's necessary for us. And so in that spirit, we are having a double documentary screening at Express Newark. It'll start at 1 p.m. And the first documentary that we're going to show is Eyes of the Rainbow, which is a series of interviews, a series of interviews and with Assata, and she's just talking about her life and talking about her role in struggle. It was done by a Cuban filmmaker, and it is also has connections to Newark with Junius Williams, and who I believe does most of the music for the documentary.
Does the blues? You hear that mouth? Wah, 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 wah. That's him on the mouth harp. Yes.
Yeah. And so it's definitely steeped in just the Black radical tradition, culturally, politically, socially, all of these things. And so we're excited to show that documentary. And right after that, we're going to have a panel discussion with a few folks who, in one way or another, were connected to Assata and or her legacy. And so we want to, in that way, we want to uplift her memory and also continue to keep her legacy and her struggle alive, because I think that's super important. And then after that, we're going to also be watching another documentary called Dare to Dream, which is a documentary about the Cuban medical school, Latin American medical school in Cuba. And the filmmaker, Jen Wager, who's, I believe, a professor at Essex County College, will be there to talk about the film, but she'll also be accompanied by a couple of other panelists to just talk about Cuba and Cuba's role in liberation struggle, and especially with, as Baba Zaid was saying earlier, just with the in terms of medicine and all of the great work that they've done in training doctors, from not just the United States, but from all over, to do work in their communities. So those are the two documentaries, and we'll also have two panel discussions after those documentaries to kind of break them down. But yeah, we're very excited about the event.
And JD, do y'all have an Instagram page, or how can people go out and find out information about the event?
Yeah. So we do have an Instagram page. It's cmb.newark is our Instagram page. Actually, let me make sure I'm not lying to you. I'm not actually on Instagram, but let me make sure I'm not lying. I believe it is cmb.newark.
I thought I was the only one not on Instagram.
No, not the only one.
Generation, all of y'all behinds is on that thing.
No, I took the path of another path.
Yeah, that's correct, JD. That's it.
Yes, cmb.newark. Yeah, that's how you can find out about the event. That's how you can register for it. We'll also have, I don't know how prudent it is to say this live on air, but we'll also have lunch provided. So, come on out for that too. And yeah, we'd love to have as many folks as we can there to honor Assata and to learn more about Cuba. It's especially an important time to learn about Cuba, to learn about what's going on in the wider Americas, because there's a lot of forces that are seeking to take out a lot of our communities, not just here in the States, but all over. So yeah.
So let's build on that a little bit, because I want to get a couple more things in with you before we go to our next segment.
For sure.
One, what does Assata mean to J.P. Sloan?
Yeah.
Right. Two, and when we met yesterday, you raised another question about some important solidarity to one of Cuba's neighbors. We need to lift that up again too. So make sure you make those 2 points. Well, that's some takeaways for us. Go ahead.
Yeah. If anybody ever asks me, tell me a book that you should read to, that I should read. If somebody comes up to me and asks me, can you tell me a book I should read, because I'm really interested in developing politically. I'm interested in developing, like, just understanding how things work in the United States and in the world. The first book I always tell them to read is Assata, an autobiography. That book, just for so many reasons, not even just because of what she says, but the way she says it, and I just feel how warm she is through the page, and that's a very rare thing to feel for me. I enjoy reading, and I enjoy reading a lot about, like, politics and the history of struggle, and some people have great things to say, but they may say it in very technical, jargony kind of ways, and it doesn't quite hit the same. Her book is completely different. It comes across as, I am sitting down at the table with you. I want to teach you something. I want to show you something step by step, so that you don't lose sight of the bigger picture. And because of that, like, I appreciate good teachers. Throughout my life, like, I've had really good teachers, and just through the way she teaches through her book, it's one of the most impressive feats of literature for me, honestly. And it
sounds like it's like your mama talking to you. That's what it sounds like.
It does. It
does. That maternal instinct really came through.
Right, but she's also pulling you into something. She's pulling you in and sort of provoking you to learn more and to do more. For our people, and to stretch yourself, but to do so in that warm maternal way is something that we don't always get. And I've always appreciated that. And another thing that, I'm not from New Jersey, but moving here and, just being so close to where, the major event of her life,
drama took place. That's right.
Happened was a big deal for me, and really, that sinking in was a big deal. I think that acknowledging and being cognizant of where we are is always an important thing. And so that's one of the first things that I thought about whenever I moved here.
Because you're from Louisiana?
I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah. And never been to Essence Fest. That's right. I got it.
That's right.
Essence Fest coming to Louisiana. That ain't Louisiana.
No, you gotta get there. That's definitely, if you ever do anything in Louisiana, you got 50 down. Because what part you from? What part of Louisiana?
I'm from Northwest Louisiana. I'm from Shreveport. Yeah.
That's where did he purchase all that property in?
50 Cent.
Yes.
It's Shreveport.
Shreveport, right? Yeah, he built the whole studio down there. Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another segment for another day if you want to get my thoughts on that. But
okay, we're definitely gonna have a conversation. We're gonna bring you back with our DJ Rhino so we can have a conversation about that. Because not to go side, but it's funny because I don't know who was, which was a very smart thing, but I know somebody made a joke about him buying property cheap, but I'm like, well, that's how you buy property. But so shame on the person who said
that though.
Huh?
We ain't supposed to do that though. Keep talking. You right.
I mean, but it was, yeah, I was like, well, but it was like a big joke. But like, listen, he bought a whole block, I believe, and then some down there. So, so.
And we need to do more of that so we can really be self-determining in our communities.
Definitely.
Right? All
Right.
these devastated, empty properties and whatnot, buildings in our communities, we need to take them one way or another. We need to take them and be self-determining about that. On the Louisiana front on hip hop, Master P played an important role in the Million Youth March. He literally paid for our stage in Harlem. It was a big check to write. And they came after him like crazy. And he said, well, I'm just helping my community. How does Assata fit into that? I was trying to get our mayor really to take some. He was quite younger than that was young Ras Baracco, right? To take a lead role in that. And he was a little uncomfortable with it at that point. So I stepped in and filled a vacuum, and we created what was called the Assata Shakur Freedom Fighters Caravan from Jersey to New York for the Million Youth March. I had about 60 people in blue and Panther blue and white t-shirts. Assata is welcome here, right? Roll into New York City and shake that city up that day the way we did. So Master P helped with the Million Youth March, and there's that Assata story to the Million Youth March.
And JP, but what I will say is, one of the things with him being in your home, and I don't know how connected you are to Shreveport, but there's a young lawyer who's right down on Park Place in Newark. That 50, he did a whole series about him because it was a young man that went to
Donna, did you freeze?
I'm back. So 50. Yeah. So what I will say with this work that you're doing, he likes these types of stories. So a young JP in Newark who's doing work around Assata and everything, and I'm sure you journal and everything. And with these documentaries, don't shy away from seeing how you can create your own, because he does he's really good at taking these stories and bringing them to the screen. So, make it do what it do, can make your connection and everything. Because I was saying before I froze, he did it with a young brother who's a lawyer right down in Newark on Park Place right now. And he did a whole series on Channel 7 about this young man who got his law degree while he was in jail. So
what's his name?
I will tell you in a second. He works at I'll tell you in a second. But keep talking, JP, about tomorrow. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. To answer, sorry. Thank you for looking that up, Donna. To answer the second part of your question, Bob Zaid. So tomorrow actually began. I'm a part of another organization called the Black Alliance for Peace, and the Black Alliance for Peace is a anti-war, anti-imperialist, pro-peace organization, and the goal is to try to revitalize and recover those aspects of our movements. And one of the things that the Black Alliance for Peace is participating in is a week of action in solidarity with Venezuela. The Trump administration has continued a legacy of warfare. This time a little bit hotter than the past administration. And it's targeting Venezuela, and it seems like it's doing everything it can to enact some sort of regime change. And so we're participating in this week of action to say, hands off of Venezuela, but also no troops in our streets. We're as an anti-imperialist and anti-war organization, we're calling for the demilitarization of not only the United States but also all of our Americas. And a couple of things that we wanted to to highlight and connect to the last segment a little bit as well with Dr. Frederic, I believe is her name.
Mhm.
You know, two of the things that we want to highlight is we want to, you know, the Black Alliance for Peace has been calling for the closure of all Southcom military bases, which Southcom is the United States Southern Command. And, you know, and it's sort of continuing this whole idea that the entire Western, you know, hemisphere belongs to the United States. And, you know, and it really, it undermines national sovereignty for all these other countries and places where there are these other communities. And so we're calling for the shutdown of those bases. But the second thing that we're calling for, that we want to highlight, is defending Puerto Rican independence and sovereignty, and also Haitian independence and sovereignty, Haitian sovereignty, because we think things are important. You know, one of the ways that that the United States has been able to put Venezuela in its sights is because of the militarization of Puerto Rico. And, you know, we are saying that, no, we need to demilitarize, you know, all of our Americas and make it a zone of peace. And that means making sure that Puerto Rican people say what happens in Puerto Rico, and not, you know, and not have the U.S. intervene or be overbearing in terms of militarization. And the same goes for Haiti. And, you know, and the whole, you know, point of this call is to really say the words and to really make our Americas, which includes, you know, North America, the Caribbean, South America, a zone of peace. You know, and that language comes from, there was in 2014, the community of Caribbean and Latin American states made this call for states to have for there to be for the Americas to be a zone of peace. And you know, and the Black Alliance for Peace took up that call and said, you know, not only do these states, you know, like, you know, the governments of the Caribbean and Latin American states need to work toward a zone of peace, but the people who live in these areas also need to work toward a zone of peace. And so, you know, we're trying to have, you know, organize this popular movement to say, hey, you know, we don't need more militarization. What we need is more coordination, peace, and for nations to be able to determine how their governments run. If they want to run, you know, in one way, that doesn't, you know, then they should have the right to say that we're going to run our country this way. And yeah, so that's another thing that's going on, and I think it's very, very important to highlight, you know, because Assata, you know, went to Cuba, and even though she was named a terrorist by the United States, you know, took asylum in Cuba, and you know, and that same tactic of talking about, you know, terrorist this, terrorist that is why, you know, all these fishermen are getting bombed in the Caribbean, and you know, and we don't want that. We want peace, not war. So
so JP, a couple of things I shared. We have our next segment. We're running behind. We have our next segment waiting in the background. I've shared your information with Brother Dumas, who works in the journalist field, and I'm sure he would be very interested. So I shared the information for tomorrow. So hopefully, if he doesn't have anything in his schedule, but I know he'll probably try to connect. I left you a note to put your cell number in the chat for me, so I could do some connecting as well. But we asked you this question last time, and we're going to ask it again because you continue to do the work that you're doing in the community. The attorney's name is Isaac Wright Jr. He works Isaac Wright.
He's on Park Place. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a hell of a show. He's got a hell of a story.
Yeah,
so
and the show is
Jailhouse Warrior, who went on to get his law degree. That's right.
Yeah, it's called For Life. Was the show? It was a very good show. But
get him on here too. Yeah.
So I encourage you to put pen and pencil and bring some of these things, because you know Mayor Baraka's doing studios right here in Newark, so it's not a far fetch. It's something that I think you could really wrap your hands around. But while you're doing this work that you do in the community, what hip hop artist, individual, or group are you listening to?
Yeah. So I think last time I talked about Outkast, but one of the people that I sort of grew up with listening to is from Chicago, Lupe Fiasco, and I always, he's got a little unique style, unique flow, and so I always appreciate Lupe. So and he does a lot of work out in the streets too. So yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for coming back, and continue not to be a stranger. Don't forget to leave your number, and then wish you success on tomorrow. And I want a front row seat at that 50 joint that you and him gonna partner on. Okay, down in Shreveport. Okay.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Yeah, no problem. Right on. Long live Assata. Freak Mouth Siddiqui. All right, now this is going to be a very, very interesting segment. Where's Marquise?
Yeah, I see our.
There he is. There he
is. Hey, Coach.
How y'all doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
I understand you got
my girls in the back.
Yeah, I understand you guys.
They're there.
Tell us, welcome back.
You might have to recruit them. I'm a Giants fan, Marquita. The Giants need your help now.
No, they ain't going no Giants.
they can't go to the Giants. They didn't mess with Scatterboo. Marquita, did you know who Scatterboo was?
No.
No, you didn't know Scatterboo? Oh my gosh, you gotta look that up. So next time we talk, Scatterboo was like, number 44 for the New York Giants.
Okay, I gotta look him up.
Yeah, look him up, okay?
Okay.
All right,
y'all for having us. Thank y'all for having us. I just want.
And let me be the first to say, soon to be council person. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring on my two special young ladies here, Milan, and Maya. It's their birthday girls in the house.
But I see three of them. You said two. I see three of them back there.
That's their mama. She look like their sister.
She a person.
All right. It's your birthday.
Hello.
Yeah. So
Happy birthday.
This year have been very interesting. Central Ward Cougars celebrate 40 years of existence. Started under Cowboy Kettles, one of the oldest Pop Warner organizations in the city of Newark, maybe even the state, for 40 long years. And I had the privilege to coach these amazing young ladies right here, my twin sisters, Milan and Maya. First, only Pop Warner team that have 4 girls who play on four amazing girls. All of them, they hit harder than the boys. So I just wanted to bring them on. And Milan, how you doing?
Good.
How you feel to make history, be the first female to win the scoring touchdown in the Pop Warner history? How you feel about that?
It felt good to score a touchdown. I'm pretty sure that we was going to make more touchdowns, but I'm so happy that I scored that game.
So is Milan, are you a receiver, running back, or quarterback? How you rolling, baby?
I'm a running back.
Running back. Uh-oh. That means you ain't scared of nothing.
No.
So Milan, did you see the movie The Long Shots?
No, I heard of that movie before.
Okay, they're gonna have to do another one now that you out there scoring. They're gonna have to do a movie now about you. Okay, because it was a race based about Pop Warner, young lady in the Pop Warner, but you're the first to score a touchdown in Jersey, Marquis?
Yeah, Pop Warner history and the championship and a historical. It was a historical championship, triple overtime.
Oh my
You
God.
know,
Okay.
and we tried to give it to the guys, but the lady had to take over. My father always said, "You want something done, give it to a woman."
Give it to her. Oh my
So
gosh, I heard a
my,
good sermon about that today.
Maya also, she on our defensive side, our linebacker making hits, good tackles. She ain't afraid to drop her shoulders and hit them. We had a game in the championship game. They tried to put the big boy in and run the touchdown, and Maya hit him from the knees, took his knees off.
Took his knees out.
Took his knees off.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
girls, how to feel not only to be twins, or not only to be sisters, but be star athletes in your own right. How do it feel?
It feels very good because many people haven't like had that, so it's different, and it feels like ever since my sister made history, I'm so proud of her. Like she did real good. We both did good. The whole team did good, but kudos to her. Like she did a real good job. Also, did I?
So Maya Milan, how long have y'all been playing Pop Warner?
My second year.
This your second year.
Yes.
So year one, how did your other teammates receive you? Was it always welcoming, or did you have, to overcome some challenges?
Yeah, it was just like those was my brothers. Like I had already knew them, so it was easy to bond with them.
Okay. And what about on other teams? Did you have any problems there?
It took us some time to bond, but
Okay.
for the most part, it was fun. But I just like the Central Ward Cougars better.
Me
Like,
too.
we were more welcome. It was like more playtime with us, no favoritism, no nothing. So it was different.
Y'all were just football players, right? None of
Yeah.
that.
Let me tell you, Councilwoman, how comfortable it was, right? I forgot at one point that we was getting dressed in the boys' locker room, and I told the girls to come on in. And everybody, oh, this is the boys' locker room. I'm like, man, they football players.
He's like, at the end of the day, okay.
I think is we trying to break the cycle. People don't really see girls and tackle football, and these young ladies really breaking the mold and seeing that the women have a place and tackle football too.
Okay. So this is no flag football. This is tackle.
Now this tackle, I
Yes.
saw them play last year, and I was like, man, I could do some things with them. So I had to go steal them from another team. But I'm glad that I stole them because somebody else's loss is another man's treasure.
That's
They just happen to
listen.
be my treasure.
All right. And you're out there, you train. So make sure y'all pull that movie out and everything. It's the Long Shots. It was made in 2008. And it's basically some of the things that you possibly had to deal with. But when you're out there, you taking those hits like that, it's nothing, you taking those hits.
Oh,
Yeah.
they taking them. Let me tell you, Councilwoman, in the game, Milan was actually, she hurt her finger, right? She actually came out the game because she was hurt, and she's like, "I'm going back in, put me back in." And I'm looking like, this girl crazy. She just hurt me. She's like, "Hey, put me back in," and she went back in. Said, "Give me the ball." She took the ball, and history was made.
The rest is history.
It was just like it took so long for the boys to score, and it was just like people kept on triggering her. So that was basically like a revenge for her. Like she's gonna prove y'all wrong, basically.
Okay. And I don't think in Jersey or anywhere are girls playing in high school football anywhere yet.
They're gonna break the mold. They're gonna break the mold.
They're
gonna break the mold.
This is years ago. I had a freedom school in Westfield years ago, and two of my kids' mother played in a women's professional, full pads, everything, full contact league. I forget the name of the league, but she was a tackle, right? Big girl. She was a tackle, and they were, this was an all women's league. It was not flag football. They were padded up, and they were playing, and she was, doing her thing. I can't remember what happened to the league. Let's bring Mommy. I want to talk to the mother for a minute.
That's who I wanted to talk to too. Is the mom? Is your mom around?
She was right there. Come on in, mommy.
Is her hair dead? She might not want to be on
She
camera.
was right there. She was
Yes.
right there from the beginning.
Oh, her hair is dead. Period. Hey, mom.
Mama.
Hi, how are you?
Mama, what's mommy's name? Mama, what's your name?
Marquita.
Marquita. Now, Marquita, let me act like a grandfather for a minute. What made you think it was all right to put these girls in the football field?
And
How
before
did
you answer
you
that
all
question,
They asked.
wait,
they
before you
asked,
answer
and
that
and at
question,
first, I was hesitant.
What happened? Ah, what happened? You got my ugly face. What happened? Marquise, tell him to jump back
All
in.
right. Well, they got put off. Okay. Wait. They gotta come back.
yeah, as they like make their way back, mom looks like a sister. That's all I do know. Mom looks like, and so goals all the way. I just want to tell her that. Like, wait, mom, like y'all lying. Put the
Yeah, that's what Marquise said. That mom looked like a sister. That's the first thing he said.
Yeah, they very special girls. And they're not afraid to play. They're not afraid to go get tackles. Sometimes, they be saying, pull him out, put me in. And they go make the play.
I love it. And
We
like,
back on.
Well,
Hey,
All right, wait,
Hey,
Marquita.
so-
Wait, Marquita, wait 1 second. Asia, go ahead.
oh, I just want to let you know. So after you explain what Zaid just asked you, I just want to let you know you look like sister. You don't look like mom. And so I just wanted to let you know you did that. Hashtag gold, hashtag period. And so just let me know your skincare routine. So go ahead, Zaid. Go ahead.
No, so I just was saying we tried cheerleading at first, and they didn't like it. And then I gotta big up Zanori, who's another girl on the team. She came and she asked them to do football with her. Wow. So I mean, and they were only doing flag at first, and then they were told that they needed to have some experience in contact. I told them, I asked them, "Are y'all ready?" They said, "Yeah." They went in, and the rest is history. And I honestly think that was the best thing for us to do, because now they breaking chains. Yeah. They breaking chains, and they're gonna keep breaking every obstacle. People was doubting them, and they doing their best, and they proving people wrong.
That's a beautiful story. So who in your family did they get their fire from?
From me, of course. I ran track, so
right.
I'm athletic too myself, and my mother also ran track too. She ran track for Weekway High School. So
what event?
Athletic.
What events?
Well, I ran 100 meter, 400, and I was really good in the 4x8 in relay.
Oh, you got some legs on you. All right.
Yeah.
What did your mom do?
My mom pretty much did the same race, but she was more of a sprinter. I did more long distance. I can run for a long time.
Yeah. And so, girls, I just want to let you know, I hope you guys thank your mom every day, every night, before you get on the field, after you get on the field, because what she's allowing y'all to grow in your true prosperity. And so it's not every day. Say it again.
She's my biggest supporter, and that's
right. She's your hero, and so I love that.
Well,
so,
Asia, today is the anniversary of the day that Ruby Bridges is that the anniversary when she went into the school, and I was listening to that history today. So this day that you're on here is a very historical day. And Maya and Milan, do y'all know who Ruby Bridges is?
Yes. She was the first Black little girl to go to a white school.
There you go. Okay. Well, listen,
hey, don't play
company.
with them. They gotta get that school work before they get that field work.
Yes. That's right. So listen, you're in good company, and you keep breaking records and doing what you're doing and not being ashamed. And it's funny how sports can help you, break through some things. Sometimes I say arts and sports sometimes can just reach things when they seem unreachable. Mom, when you see them out there, I understand that you guys are all athletes, but this is a contact sport. So when you see them out there playing, Mom, how are you feeling? Are you nervous or anything?
Sometimes I am, and
She right there on the sideline.
I do get aggressive sometimes because I be on that sideline. You know, sometimes the boys might be try to be a little rough with them because they're girls, but they reassure me every time, Mom, we good, we got this, we got this. So, you know, I just keep telling them, be careful, because you know, there are risks, but I believe in my kids, and I honestly believe God going to stay with them the whole time, and He gonna make sure that they stay safe.
That's right. Amen.
Councilwoman, I'll be remiss if I didn't shout out my coaching staff who really, when I brought them the idea, they bought into it. You know, they brought into it. They embraced these young ladies. You know, so at first they looked at me like I'm crazy. You trying to bring 4 girls on the team? You know, but you know they embraced it, and these young ladies have really been a blessing to them. From my defensive coordinator Jimmy Wright Jr. to my offensive coordinator Marty Watson to my brother Corey and Mustafa and Coach Hyder, to my team mom, to amazing coaching staff who listen to my crazy ideas and like make it into reality.
All right, you out there with my fam. I gotta call Jimmy and let him know that y'all out there. Jimmy's my cousin. Okay. All right. So
and I just want to thank their mom
has
for
a million cousins.
trusting us.
Yeah. How many in Newark? How many teams have girls on a team?
I believe we probably the only one in Newark.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You are.
You know, they were with the Stallions, but we stole them. So you know.
And let me just say, when they were on the Stallions, you know, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but they felt like they needed to compete against each other, and that's one of the reasons why I took them off and I put them on the Cougars. You know, praying that it'll be a different experience, and it's been so much better. And I do want to thank Marquise, and I want to thank everybody on the Cougars for allowing my babies to shine in their own light and not feel like they got to compete, because it was really hard. When they was playing for the other team, they would literally fight every day, like, because they felt like, oh, well, this person's doing better than me, and they had them going against each other. And I'm like, no, you guys are twins. Like, you're identical twins. Y'all are the same people. That's like you going against yourself. I'm not going to allow that. So I made the decision to take them off, and I'm so glad I did, because now they get a lot more shine, and they're a lot more comfortable with the Cougars.
And they in their own lane. They're in their own lane. Milan is offense. Maya is defense. Sometimes we throw Milan and defense when we need to make some adjustments. So they in their own lane, you know. So we try to make sure. And what I love about the Cougars organization, my team, the 12U, is that we lift each other up. Nobody, you know, Milan is a true leader. She be telling them, like, pick your head up. Next play, let's do this over. Like, we got this. So, like, you know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and Mom, congratulations for allowing your girls to shine.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you so much. And you're beautiful yourself.
100%.
I meant to tell you that.
I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to take that.
Thank you so much.
So Pop One is up until you're 16, right? How long can they play? Up until they're 14?
13.
Yeah, that's
14.
Yeah.
13
Okay,
last year. They got one more year.
They got high school trying to grab them, and
all right.
No, I'm going to speak with Marquise about moving forward with that. Because like I said, I want him to be, you know, by my side with every decision that I make with them, because I feel like he has their best, you know, interest in everything. So I'm going to speak with him about, you know, if they want to play in high school or however it goes.
No.
Yeah, and the school's been calling me. High school's been calling me. I had 2 high schools calling me, like, their mother said I gotta talk to you. So you know, so
beautiful. Okay, so we see some full rides to college coming. Do you what other sports do you like to play?
I like to do track. Like I want to if I'm gonna play football, I want to be faster. Like I don't want to be slow. I don't want to just play football. I want to do both. I like both. My mother was a track star. I want to be just like her. I like football more.
Okay, so you like football, and I hear mom and grandma was a track star, so y'all got some speed in y'all too. Okay.
I got my mom genetics. Like I'm very strong and I'm very independent. I won't down nobody, and nobody will down me. It's just like an equal. Like I want to be like my mother. She want to be like my mom. It's just like the same thing, and I like being like this. It actually proves people wrong. Like I don't want to sit in the house and be lazy like all day. I don't like.
All right.
So football actually helped me. Yeah, football actually get myself known as like a better person. I like to take my hair out everybody on the field. I don't do all that talking on the social media. I talk with Paz and that's it.
All right. You talk with Paz. Okay. Well, y'all make sure y'all look up Scatterboo, okay?
Okay. I got you.
What's your NFL team do you like?
I love the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay, Mahomes. Both of y'all like Kansas City?
I like all.
You like them all? Okay. And Marquise, what's your team?
That's the only thing we fight about because I'm an Eagles fan all the way.
Okay.
My father is an Eagles fan, so I like Eagles and I like the Cowboys.
You like my house, or my husband love the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. It's like, okay.
I like the Giants too. I like the Giants.
Okay. So we had some good and Marquise, did you say earlier that you were taking the kids to some of the games during the preseason? Did y'all take some kids?
No, we didn't go. We didn't go.
Okay, I remember you were talking about it.
We gonna go.
But look, we brought the football players to the field though.
Yeah.
I know you
we
always
let them come to the field, Jonathan came to the field. Tahir, he come when he in town. We had Kamoko Toure come out and talk to them. Amir Smith, like they come to the field and meet the kids. And even Jonathan last week was on a podcast, New York Giants, and he gave Milan a shout out.
And who's the
Giants
game?
Wow.
We got a young brother from East Orange that plays for the Eagles, right?
Yes.
No?
Dobson.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, Maya Milan, we ask a question on this show, a hip hop question. When you get ready to go out,
ask mommy too.
Okay, and mommy. And so all three are when they're getting ready to go out on the field, this will be your question. And Maya Milan, when you are out on the field, what hip hop artists do you guys listen to, individual or group?
NBA Youngboy.
Wait, okay, one at a time.
Same time.
Wait, who'd you say, Maya?
NBA Youngboy.
Okay, and Milan, you said the same thing?
Yeah, we all like NBA Youngboy.
Oh, mommy said it too? Okay.
Yes, he his lyrics sometimes a little explicit, but there are songs that really get them in the mood, like they're ready to tackle on that field.
Okay, NBA Youngboy. And Coach, who you listening to?
I'm down with DMX all day with my dogs at.
With my dogs. Okay. So what's up after so are they still playing? Because y'all go all the way. Do they still go to Disney World? Do they still do that?
Nah, it's Charlotte, right? We lost in the first rounds of the regional playoffs. But we got it's some things coming.
They cheated, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Okay.
You such a parent. You are such a parent.
But listen. We the talk of New Jersey right now, and a lot of people that's going to Charlotte are happy that we're not coming. So,
who's going to Charlotte? Who is going to Charlotte?
Well, they still fighting it out, and there might be an invitation for us to go, make a surprise appearance. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know I came on the latter part of the interview, but this was your first season, y'all, with the Central Ward.
Yes.
So congratulations on completing your first season and a strong season, a dope season. You have amazing coaches. You guys definitely bring a different level of flavor. And keep at it. And this is just the beginning, right? And so
Yeah.
keep the passion, keep the passion, keep the love, and keep going hard. It's your field. You do what you want to do with it.
Yeah, and I will say they was good. They wanted to take a break, but ever since they've been on this team, they was like, "No, Mom, we don't want to take no more breaks. We gonna go full out." So
Yeah, put the foot on the gas.
Next season too.
Hey, I know
Foot on the
that's
gas.
right.
13U. We about to take that too.
Yeah.
And Coach, what do y'all do on the off season, Coach?
We getting conditioning. You know, the girls gonna do track. Most of my players already know that. You know, off season they got to get involved in some sports, whether it's track, basketball, baseball. They got to stay active because come May we back out there on the field.
They play flag too, Marquise.
I'm in flag.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a flag football conversation. I wasn't ready for this. This is fully loaded. Marquise,
And
fully
Marquise,
loaded, man.
Is your program a feeder for the high school, for all the high schools?
Well, we working with Central High School, Weequahic High School. You know, them two organizations really support us. Weequahic and Central High School, they support us. They are, you know, our support system. So a lot of our kids even go to Central or they go to Weequahic.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And from my understanding, no matter what school they go to, they can play for whatever team that picks them up. And so that's what's up. So you guys have like whatever, the world is yours. Go crazy with it and don't hold back. Don't hold nothing back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
That's right. Y'all got a new school in Newark. They got to what's the new school in Newark? The school of
it's the one down in the Ironbound section. It's like the HVAC, the construction.
The HVAC, yeah.
Can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's along the lines of construction unions. That was
the school, the School of Architecture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Y'all got a lot of options in Newark.
Do you guys have any like specific school that you're like eyeing or maybe interested in?
I was thinking about Newark Tech. Same.
Nice. And so again, whatever school that you go to, you can play for any football team. So, and that's the beauty about schooling in Newark, right?
Yeah, and I do want to do cosmetology school because I want to learn how to do nails and do hair like my sister, my mom. So I'm really trying to get better at new things. I know how to do hair. So I want to keep that going also.
I know that's right. So FYI Shabazz, they have a cosmetology program. Just wanted to
I knew she was gonna do a plug.
Well, you know what? Oh, that's right. She's in the background listening. That's right.
That's right.
Wait, who's from Shabazz?
Yeah, Nas is from Shabazz, right?
Yeah, he was trying to recruit.
Yeah,
I know.
he was trying to recruit my babies.
Okay.
But you know what? Marquita and Milan, Councilwoman was just speaking earlier about having that entrepreneurial spirit. So yeah, that the multiple streams of income. Never forget those words. Multiple streams of income. So as you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're stacking. And I will tell you, especially when I was in college, those who knew how to sew and do hair always had some money.
Yeah,
listen, they like bling. They like bling. So they like bling. So they already got 2 rings. They want more rings. So they're gonna go with the rings that.
All right, and make sure you stack it more than most of it. Okay.
Okay.
I know that's right. Wait, but do they still call it bling? I think Marquise, you just showed how old you are. Do y'all still call
it? No, thank y'all for having us though.
Girls, you bling out with a credit score and stacking. That's how you bling out now.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give this segment a 99 and Marquita.
Actually, Marquise, who's the football player? Is that Tahir who always does the financial literacy?
Yes.
That's right.
And you know, they're actually playing on the Tahir Whitehead field. So You
There you
know.
that's how he is. Big thing. He always comes on here talking to us about financial literacy. So he is serious about that. So Maya
Absolutely.
and Milan and Marquita, y'all don't be strangers. Keep us posted about what's new. Come back and let us know when you choose your high school, when you're making your next mark on your next big thing, and just keep us posted, okay?
Okay.
Congratulations. Can't wait to hear more of your success.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
y'all. Thank y'all for having us.
And Coach Marquise, we're probably gonna do the fourth Friday with the other topic, okay?
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Have
All
a
right.
good night, guys.
Okay.
Good night.
Wow, they hitting tackle. You thought this was gonna be Zay? Thought this was gonna be some flag football?
That's what Jonathan said. He texted me, said flag football. I said, okay, all right, that's whatever, you know. I'm gonna let Marquise run that, you know, it's all good.
I
You
love
know,
how you're just like, I'm gonna just take the conversation for what it is, and when I have my 2 cents out, but I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna take deep breaths, inhale, exhale. I know that's right, Saeed.
and that was a great segment. I'll give it a 99. If they brought their grandmother in with her legs, that'd have been 100.
First of all, the grandmother's probably gonna look like another big sister.
Female athletes.
Asia, did y'all talk about that when you was on the school board about was that a big, like, were girls playing on the high school football? Was that ever a subject?
Yeah, so when I was on the school board, that's when girls flag football teams were coming of age. And so when I was on the board, it started off with Shabazz, and then the second year it was Shabazz and Weekway. And so our focus was to build out the flag football scene, because a lot of the girls or young women, they were saying, hey, we like football, we too want to have a lane for ourselves. And there was a lot of support from the NFL to expand, still is, to expand girls flag football teams. And so now the district, from my understanding, has a plethora of girls flag football teams. Irvington has one. And it's really cool because they play out their like their championship game out on MetLife Stadium. And so
That's nice.
big support, and it's a lot of support, and the girls, they really are into it. And I think like it also gives them opportunity to play multiple sports because it's off season. It's not during the football season, it's during the springtime. And so girls that play basketball or any other sport, they don't have to pick which sport to play. They could do like basketball one season and then flag football the other. And so that was really the conversation when I was on the board.
All right, so we got at least 10 minutes to go.
No,
I don't
DJ,
know how much in the beginning were we able to talk about, you know, how we felt about the election? Any thoughts of, it looks like Governor-elect has taken the ground running. She immediately, and also for the mayor next door as well, they both spelled out their transition teams. I know Governor-elect Cheryl, she's announced that she's taking resumes. So any thoughts on the new administration to come, guys?
A lot of promises have been made, and because I would say, to your point, like she's hitting the ground running, she's on track, right? And no matter what administration is, you have to give people a chance. You can't just automatically make assumptions. You can't start off their seat with pessimism. You have to give people a chance, and you have to support. And when I say support, you have to provide input. You can't just watch people quote unquote fail. And I'm not saying that's what she's going to do, but you got to. And throughout her candidacy, she's always been vocal about receiving support, about getting better understanding, listening to people. And I feel as though she's doing what she said she was going to do, and she's on track to continue showing up.
And shout out, you know, of course, our community, Essex County, showed out and showed up, and shout out, she came right to Essex County, and she was handing out food. So I have to give her whether she got the memo or she paid attention to the numbers, whatever the case was be, she showed up in Newark, New Jersey. So we have
Part
to.
of her base is the suburban side of Essex County. She needed to show up everywhere. We sweated her to show up. She really did need to figure that out. It took her a minute.
No, I'm talking about after the election. She was down in Weekway Park handing out food.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
This,
Okay.
yeah.
I hope the pressure, and I'm gonna make it plain, and I ain't gonna be sweet on this, right? I hope the pressure that we put on her behind, right, to show up during the campaign, right, and we did, and a lot of us did, right, and I think it was absolutely necessary. I think she was just really out of touch. I hope it gave her an education, and we're going to have to give her a lot more education on her positions, right? I hope she is an accessible governor, right? And there's already conversation. You know, the next Black Agenda meeting is December 13th, which also has to be the birthday of the great Ella Baker, right? So you know, my spirit is already. I'm all ready to climb all up on that stage, and you know who I got to smack to wake up, you know, so we can keep this thing moving. You know, now on the flip side, I am 100% proud of Zoran Mandami, right? As a Black Panther Muslim socialist that I am, I ain't got no problems with a socialist man, but I'm also very clear on what is going to come at him. We just had this e-theft shenanigan laid out today that Queen Mother Betty laid out, right? New York City, and that's low level gutter stuff. But the real estate interests, the wealthiest real estate interests in the world, those interests protect even people like that. Right? That's high finance New York City. That's what that is. The police union is going to give him hell. They're going to call him everything but a child of God, right? And he's made overtures to their leadership like you would in a transitional space. And out of respect for the institution, they don't care about none of that. They don't care about none of that. And of course, you got that crazy ballhead, you know, type that's coming out of Staten Island with all that Trump baggage and whatnot. They're going to be messy. They're going to be messy. But here's the but. Not only did he win, he won decisively. He won big. And not only did he win big, his ground game drew almost 100,000 people of all stripes in New York City. If that kind of ground campaign, if that kind of organizing can be transferred to policy action and policy support and policy protest to drive their overall agenda, any struggle, any breakthrough in this particular arena that pushes this paradigm to the left is all right with me. Is all right with me. So I'm really pulling for him, and I just hope you know, things don't get wild with him in terms of his safety, because it is New York City and the stakes are indeed that great. Donald Trump, your days are limited. Ain't nobody scared of you. These are young people willing to stand up to your behind. And to them and to him, we say, "Oh, power to the people, baby." Let us be the hands that halt the advance of fascism in the United States at this critical moment.
And Attorney Norton, what say you about these recent emails? Anything, or they're just much ado about?
What you talking about? The Epstein files?
Yeah,
you're talking about the Epstein files.
The Epstein
I'm
files.
so honest. I only know the blips. I don't know anything in detail. But no matter what, sometimes you got to watch things unfold. Right. And all things in the dark shall come to light, and you don't have to do much to allow things to come to light, and again, all things in the dark shall come to light. And definitely going to see it play out.
Now, what do you think, Madam Councilwoman?
It's really interesting. I was looking at the ones that the Democrats released that they got from the family. where FC, where they were blacking.
Redacting. Yeah.
That was a young lady who unfortunately took her life. Her name was blacked out, and then where Epstein had kind of alluded that he could be the person that takes the president down. So it's interesting. As one thing, you know, I'm a person that watched The View, and I know Sonny was saying that it seems like the emails kind of spoke to the favor of the president, that he would want to release them because they were almost kind of in his favor. So it was almost like what she alluded to was like they're making it a lot more intense because their refusal not to release them.
Yeah, I'd say you can't, you know, and that's one of the problems with the Democratic Party, as far as I'm concerned. It's not just, you know, what, you know, it's one thing to be against somebody, but what the hell are you for, right? And the Democratic Party lost its way in terms of what it's for, right? The Democratic Party of the 2000s don't look nothing like the Democratic Party of the late 1960s, early 1970s. Nothing like it. They have become.
I echo Congressman Payne. Yeah. I echo Congressman Payne's words is that always remember that the Republican Party, they stay very close and to five, you know, I think 5 topics: taxes, abortion, and as Congressman Payne Jr. would always say, remember the Democrats are a big tent party, and they do. They take on a lot of issues, and which that's why they're so splintered, because you have this, and that, and everything. And I think, you know, it is what it is. We'll keep that in mind. I think
I'm gonna pray for you, Democrats.
Well, no, I one thing, you know, coming from, and I would say Newark too. One thing about Orange and Newark, we're kind of nonpartisan town. So we really, especially if you're in you don't tend to argue on party. You tend to, because we're in nonpartisan. So you kind of argue for the people and why you're the better candidate. We don't really fight on the of things of Democrat and Republicans. That's not the arguments we take on. We take on why we're the better candidate.
I agree. I agree. And I'm going to say, yes, we as Democrats accept your prayers. Prayer is never wrong. Prayer is never wrong.
I have to say, I have not heard Democrat, Republican thrown around so much until this president got in. Because once you're elected, you represent the people, and that's what most people want to be known as.
You talking Milan Williams? You ain't talking in Project 2025. They not the people, baby. They came in with an agenda to divide this country between the rich and poor, the black, the white and the non-white, with privilege being the only thing that matters.
Republican Party definitely is not resemblance of the party that it used to be, right? Like we have to remember that Condoleezza Rice was a Republican. Still
Condoleezza the skeezer, that's what the Mirror used to call her.
but she's no resemblance to the current administration whatsoever. And I don't know this by heart, don't quote me on this, but I would assume that she would condemn the acts of this current administration. And so
Hear her do it. I ain't heard nothing.
Again, I'm not saying quote me on it. Again, I didn't say quote me on it, but I'm not going to quote you neither. And so there might be out there.
I know she is sitting somewhere, and it's so funny because I know at one point, because she was Secretary of State, and how you know, when I first got elected, I was Mayor Hawkins was the mayor, and he would call me the Condoleezza Rice because I would always try to bring people together and everything. And he would make that reference about me, you know, just like we got to work together.
You can need Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice have no history of bringing nobody together. You did that. You did. Donna K. Williams did that. Donna K. Williams,
not the government. Not the government. I love you.
If you was rolling with Condoleezza Rice, I'd have been throwing rocks at you like I threw rocks at her.
Well, look, I'm sure now y'all would love to see somebody like him select a person like Condoleezza Rice, because this, I mean, because even his.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me clear all this up, right?
Mhm.
There's a reason why the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier is about to go buck wild in Latin America, right? And regime change was a party neutral doctrine of U.S. foreign policy, and it always was based on taking down progressive governments that had access to natural resources. What are the common denominators between Nigeria and Venezuela?
Oil.
It's not that they're beautiful people who disagree with the United States, and Venezuela definitely does. That's a democratic socialist country, right? That's blowing people's mind. It is the oil.
The oil.
It is the oil. These monsters are still addicted to this oil that is ruining the earth, and they don't care about none of that, long as they're sitting pretty and on top of the world, even though the world is falling apart right from under their little racist noses. What time
Well,
is it?
with that being said, it's 9 o'clock, and oil has brought us to the top of the hour. And I know for me, we want to thank our guests, and we'll start off by saying I'll thank Councilwoman Dr. Charnette Frederic for coming on and telling us about her memoir, and how. Say that again.
I didn't know a science background. She's a great story.
Oh yeah, and telling us about her coming into being a public servant to the people of Irvington, New Jersey, but also, like I said, her work that she has done in the science field. She's done a lot of work around sickle cell. So we'd love to be talking more with her and thank her for coming on. And Zaid, you want to thank the other
Dr.
guests?
Betty Davis, the first time with us, and she came in like Oya, the Orisha of the storm. She came in loud, proud, and unapologetic, pulling the wolves off of the dirt of the Democratic Party in Brooklyn, right? Yeah, I want to thank Queen Mother Betty for that. I want to apologize to my little brother Rick Robinson from the NAACP, the manager of the CCRB. Remember, we're going to be at tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church, 231 Seymour Avenue, Newark, for the beginning of the CCRB Clergy Tour, right? And there'll be monthly meetings of the CCRB also, and all of that will be laid out there. And Reverend Roundtree and the pastor of that church, Pastor Branch Jr., is also a member of the clergy part of the CCRB. My young man, J.P. Sloan from Community Movement Builders, glad to have him on the microphone with us again tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be a heavy day for me. I'm just trying to get my head together because of more personal connect with Assata, right? But I'm looking forward to these young people giving the generation behind them a grounding in why Assata's legacy matters. I'm really looking forward to them putting down some real work tomorrow. And I just want to say too that we also lost somebody that's very special to the work of community-based violence intervention, who was in the Black Panther Party when he was 15 years old. His name is Akil Bashir, who passed away just a few days ago. Akil Bashir was the top trainer of what we call high-risk intervention, and did more to professionalize community-based violence intervention than anybody I know, and has literally trained thousands of men and women in how to go into those hot spots, those hardcore violent areas in our community, and how to negotiate peace and help and get folks the help that they need to change their lives. He passed away a little while ago, and we want to figure out a way to do a real serious tribute to that Black man, because blessed are the peacemakers. Well, this brother brought the best out of a whole lot of peacemakers, and we're supremely proud of him. So I'll stop there, y'all.
Okay. And thank also to Coach Marquise, who brought Milan and is it Micaiah? The twins
and their mother Marquise.
And their mother as well. Thank them for coming on. For making history in Newark for the girls doing their thing. Girls rule the world. And thank you for our audience, and in absence of Ed and Jonathan and the whole team, DJ Rhino and everybody, we miss you.
To Rafisa, because she couldn't start the show. Jonathan forgot to send her the. That's our in-house.
Rafisa, we know you in the background. Thank you, sis. We know you're doing things. Thank you so much.
You brought her to a gunfight with a candle. You know that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So, and also Masani, we said it early in the show, Masani from Source of Knowledge, we're sending our prayers and thoughts out to her as she just lost her sister as well.
Yeah, she was a sister's caregiver too. It was very deeply personal. You can't get no more personal than that, right? Love to our family from Source of Knowledge Bookstore. Until next week, we'll see you in the whirlwind, and you don't stop.
Asia, say it. Go ahead.
Oh, and so hip hop's number one hip hop radio talk show. All
You gotta work on that, baby.
Period. Have a good evening, y'all.
All right, great.
I'm gonna bring my candle next week too. Just know that.
I'm bringing the gun. Y'all, you get.
I'm bringing my candle. I am.
All right, y'all. All right, Fisa, you all right?
All right, we wait.